Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to Distinct and Jovial Podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-founder, Jerry. How you doing?
Guten Abend. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be looking to Samwise.
You're going to be.
Lots of
This is going to be
validation
like
now.
this the whole
the
whole
whole
time.
podcast. Yes, I'm very good. Thank you, Dom.
God. And
Wie
as
geht's?
clearly, Wie geht's gut? And I can't remember the rest. That's about as far as my German ever went. I was so poor at doing it, and when, we'll get onto probably my journey over on the plane the first time I went to visit. But we do have the wonderful, the famous Samwise is on the podcast.
Hey, woo.
What I have loved is like on the notes for this, right? So I've written additional Samwise on the podcast, right? And then Samwise has gone in and you've typed.
Yay! Hee hee hee! I was a bit hyper when I did this. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that was you
I
that did that.
that was Samwise. And then what did you put on the end, Jerry?
It's about bloody time. Which it is.
Well, it is when it is episode 31 of the Distinct and Jovial Podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. Day one listener, though.
31.
Day one listener.
This is very true. You are a day one
You're a
listener.
star.
That does mean that is you've probably listened to what's that 60 hours worth?
I don't want to think about this.
Because we average what 2 hours and a half.
2.5, yeah. I'd say 2.5 actually.
Yeah. So that's what 60 for 30 podcasts would be 60 to 90 hours worth of podcasts.
Jesus.
75. I've just done 30 times 2.5. 75 hours.
75 hours worth of
75 hours. Wow.
Time I will
We've
never
record-
get back. Time I will never get back.
What's interesting is we have recorded way more than what
I
we've
believe it.
put
I
out.
believe it.
Have we not? Normal bits and pieces apply. So the opinions that we express on this podcast are strictly our own and do not represent the companies that we work for. Nice and simple, so that we can devoid ourselves of all blame. Although I'm sure my mother's been saying it's been my fault for years. And apparently, as my voice has now taken the time, I'd like to point out that this podcast is being recorded on the 22nd of December, which is quite late. We were planning to do this last weekend, but somebody got COVID and two of us got hit with the
The
colds
cheese
and flu.
touch.
The cheese. And I completely lost my voice. Nothing. Absolutely crickets. Which is very difficult. It means it's very difficult to do an audio podcast when you have no voice at all. Although I'm sure there's quite a few people that would prefer that. So, yeah. I mean, I'm going to
I've
tell
gone.
the plane story.
I'm delirious as well right now because it's the last week. So my brain, I have no idea what's going on. So
Oh, that's
it's
the
gonna be
best
fun.
way. That's the
You're
best
the
way.
You're the only one that's brought wine to this conversation, so
I came
I should have
prepared,
poured myself
okay?
a scotch. I should have poured myself a scotch. I really
Yeah,
should have done.
I don't
Oh, am
know
I
what's
allowed to
wrong
bring
with
out the small hands at any point?
I mean, you can bring out the small hands if you want to bring out the small
All
hands.
Thank you. Just thought I'd check.
We didn't have small hands in our meeting on Wednesday.
We didn't.
It was quite a serious meeting considering it was the last one of the year. I've just realised.
Yes, you're right.
We talked about work.
We did. We did.
Yawn.
I didn't think it was the time and the place for small hands, so that's fine. I'll make up for it in this podcast. Small hands will come out at some point. This podcast.
I did something wrong in a former life. I'm pretty sure to
Why?
That was such an innocent why. I should ask your husband. I don't even know where to start because we've just been rabbiting on for a little bit, and I feel like jumping into room 101 would do you a disservice, Samwise. But we can jump into room 101 if that's what you
More
want to
than
prepare.
happy to.
We'll start with room 101 then, and that's all over to you.
I couldn't do Brexit because that's already been done so beautifully on another podcast that I thought I would let that one slide. But that is obviously the biggest thing in the world. My one is bus etiquette. So I get the bus every day for work, and I hate it when people on a very busy bus still have their tiny little bags on the seat next to them and see the bus filling up and do not remove this. They pretend to be asleep, don't make eye contact, you name it. And it sounds really pathetic, but it's so infuriating when you, like, little me, then has to, like, ask a big German guy very politely, "Oh, sorry, could I sit next to you?" "Oh, okay," and move the bag. It sounds really pathetic. I don't understand. It should have been unknown. Like, I always have my bag next to me, and if I see it's getting busy, I put it on my lap. It's simple, right? And I can rant about this for quite some time, as I'm sure Dom would quite.
I mean, the thing that amazes me is this transcends like country borders, because I'm pretty sure that this is exactly the same in the UK.
It happens every time on the train when I go into London as well. People pretend
Same
to
logic.
be asleep. Yeah, same logic. And you just
We can
think,
say public transport etiquette then.
yeah, but the
That
thing
would
is,
work.
the people know, and you know, there's some people that have done it and they're regulars, and I recognise
Yes.
them. And I think
Yes.
know that this train is going to fill up at Southampton, right? So you've only got the luxury of having that seat next to you empty for the next 3 stops or 2 stops. So stop messing around. Just put your bag up on it. But they do it in the vain hope that somebody's going to. But nobody does, because who's going to stand? Who's going to, in their right mind, say, "Oh, I'm not going to disturb that person who's pretending to be asleep. Ask them to move their bag. I'll just stand all journey." So it does. It transcends borders. And it's infuriating. So
Right?
I already know where it's going.
And Dom's like, "It's fine. I don't ever get public transport. I drive everywhere, so I don't care."
Ouch! I mean, I
Dom-
have to get the train. I haven't taken a bus in.
Yeah, see, if you can't think about it,
Am I allowed to quote In Betweeners?
of course you can. I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Dom just drives past everyone going, "Bus bikers."
I'll have to
I
bleep that for
had-
my mother.
Yeah, sorry.
I had a client meeting years ago, a client dinner in a really nice posh restaurant in Luxembourg, where my client, who was from Bristol at the time, came over and was discussing with me how we both were said person. We were stood in the middle of a very nice restaurant in Luxembourg as he turned around and went, "Ah, does that mean we're both bus wankers then, Sam?" And the whole room fell silent.
You have to bleep that as well.
My mother thinks quite highly of you, Sam. Right?
Not anymore, she doesn't.
Excellent.
That's one of those things, isn't it, where you say something a little bit controversial, and the room just seems to go quiet just
Oh, yeah.
before you say the best bit. And like, hang on a minute, someone's listening here, right? Somebody knows what I'm
know.
going to say next. I don't actually remember the last time I took a bus. Oh, I do actually. No, actually, that's wrong. I do. The last time I took a bus was when I came to visit you, and I took the coach.
Oh, with
From-
my parents?
No, I drove on that one. So it was like that was the first time I came and visited, which we worked out was
I
9.
came and got you, didn't I? Yes.
Yes.
I met you
Oh
at the
no, I
airport.
did. Yes. No. Actually, that was with your parents as well. Actually,
God, don't lie to me.
that one is. I'm just trying to think. Okay, so the last time I took a UK bus was the first time I came and visited you. The last time I took a German bus was the second time I came and visited
Yeah.
you, and that was only on the way there because you and Philip drove me on the way back.
So June last year is the last time you got
Yeah.
a bus.
Yes, so I took a bus from Luxembourg Airport to where Samwise lives. So yes, I have taken a bus, and that was interesting because that was a bus that had like, is it the same with the one, or is it a bit more like cattle farmish, or does it have tables at it? Because this one had tables that we were
We
on.
had a posh one.
Yeah,
It
double
depends.
decker with tables. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I love the double decker ones. Yeah, I know the ones you mean. You can get them for work, and I got really excited when I saw one pull up the other day, but it wasn't my bus, and I was sad.
the little things in life, yeah. The little
Yeah,
things in
it
life.
really is. I'm not gonna lie.
No, so I would have got the last time I got a bus would have been with your parents and sister when from Luxembourg to your place. Well, to the
Train station.
to the train station, and then it
and then
was
Philip
like
and I picked you up and chucked you at the hotel.
yeah, like I don't mean when he like almost
We
literally
literally chucked you out.
the hotel. It was good. Right, we're just stopping here. You two are getting out, and then I'm driving off. Then I'm picking up this person. It was a whole
It was
mission.
a military plan.
That weekend was a mission. Your wedding was an absolute mission. Absolutely brilliant. But no, the last time I took a UK one was the first time I came and visited you, because I got a coach from my parents to London City, and then one back, and it broke down on the way back. So I had to be stood at the side of the M4 motorway for an hour.
No way.
Then another one came and picked us up, which is fine, and then drove us the rest of the way. But added an extra hour and a half onto my already needlessly long. So the second time, I drove to London City Airport, parked. The parking was more expensive than the flight, but I parked because it's not very.
God.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I think that's a combination of it's not actually that expensive to fly from London City to Luxembourg, but also the parking is also very expensive. And then I had to do
how good advance you book your ticket, because some people talk about how if you book it like a couple of weeks in advance, which I wouldn't recommend doing, it costs the price of a small house.
Yeah,
because Luxembourg isn't cheap.
Yeah, no.
If you plan it, which I know you did, it's quite cheap.
Yes. But then on the way back, that was the weekend of the train strikes. So I had to do the M25 at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday during the middle of the train strikes.
Ooh.
And I had to get to the M3. So London City is on the east side of London, and I had to get to basically 7-8 o'clock on the thing. I started at 3.
Southbound M25 as well.
I went northbound in the end.
I did. Yeah, it's probably a better plan actually.
Quicker.
It's longer but quicker. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't quick. I can tell you that. It was miserable and slow.
Quicker.
M3 was fine. That was all fine. So yes. And then in terms of your actual Room 101, no, I have been on. I have taken a train to London and gone, and you get on it. Well, it's the first stop for me, and even I don't think. Well, you put your bag either at the top or down between your feet, or on your lap, or whatever. Or normally I'm with a colleague, and I'm just like, when it starts getting busy, you sit next to me if you don't want to sit next to a stranger, coughing and spluttering all over you, or decimating your cheese, Jerry.
Don't remind me of the cheese touch.
That sounds like a Bloodhound Gang song.
That was from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, wasn't it? Was it Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
What? Which bit?
Oh no, he's got the cheese touch. It was that cheese that had. It was a slice of cheese that was on the. It was melded into the playground on the playground's floor, hadn't it? And
yeah, Diary of the Wimpy Kid.
Avoid it. Yeah, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Oh my God, he's got the cheese touch.
Yes. Can't say I remember that very well.
No, I was trying to work this out too. I was glad it wasn't just me. I was like, am I missing something?
I don't know why I remember this. I just remember it. It just made me laugh. Oh my God, it's got the cheese touch.
I just more refer that to like the Bloodhound Gang, but I can't sing that song, which is called Bad Touch, because the lyrics of that are definitely not family friendly. As much as we try to entertain that we are family friendly.
We are ish.
Depends on the family.
Yeah. Bloodhound Gang's family probably wouldn't be offended.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I need convincing on the public transport etiquette. It's the reason why I don't take public transport, because I hate the public. So
that's so. Do you know that was so beautifully put, Dom?
What? I don't like the public, or
I love
just
it.
that
I think
entire
that's a quote. That's one of those quotes that will come up on Facebook. Yeah.
Normally said by a 60-year-old typing away just without a care in the world. Facebook is not your personal journal.
Yeah,
I don't need to know about it.
No, for me, that's definitely going to Room 101. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Definitely,
absolutely no-brainer. The Room 101 that I've put on here, and the reason why I've put it on here is because I know Germany is interesting. So Sunday trading hours, which drive me balmy in the UK. So for those that aren't aware, Sunday trading hours are like big supermarkets are only allowed to be open for 6 hours. Get my maths right. 10 till 4, yes. Because I know some that are open 11 till 5 or some that are 9 till 3. But I think it's 6 hours. But I don't know what size of store you have to be for that to count.
I think it depends on the square meter or something. I think it depends on the size of the store. Because I know when we were in uni, the massive superstore was open for 23 hours on a Sunday. They were shut for 1 hour. Yeah. I don't understand it either.
But it was not big enough to count for Sunday trading hours.
I don't know. It was massive, so I don't understand how this worked. Wales is a weird place.
If you're going to be open 23 hours, you might as well be open 24.
That was always my logic. I was like, why are we having just 1 hour?
It
I
makes
didn't
no
understand
sense.
it.
Oh,
Oh.
shops over 280 square meters can open on Sundays, but only for
See?
6 consecutive hours between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Must close on Easter Sunday, must close on Christmas Day, apparently.
Mental.
What is the point?
I mean, so that's the thing that it drives me nuts, right? Because it's based upon a Christian tradition, and I'm not Christian. If I'm totally honest, I am atheist. I suppose is probably the best way to describe me. I think.
Or agnostic?
I might have a
I don't
cream
know.
for that. I was hoping someone was going to say this.
Well,
Killed you, Ben.
We're gonna kill Joe. We're gonna kill Jerry.
That's tickled me. Suffering from agnosticism? Try this cream from Pfizer. Don't know if I have to bleep that now.
Pfizer.
I
I'm
don't
have to
know.
bleep Pfizer.
I don't know. Just I don't want to get sued. They've got so much money. They're just like they just scout podcasts and any kind of media and say, "Oh, they mentioned our name without our permission. We shall sue them." Please bleep that.
I would
Dom,
have kicked
please
it in.
bleep that. Seriously. I'm just going to say Acme. Acme. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to bleep Acme.
Acme Incorporated.
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote might have
That's
might
the
have something to say about Acme. Sunday trading hours, though, for you in Germany, Samwise, they just shut everything. Like, there's
Apart
nothing
from
open.
petrol stations are open. So if you don't have bread, you can go to a petrol station. You can get cafes; they're open. Bakeries may be open. You just get used
And
to it.
fast food.
Fast food's
restaurants
open
are
too, of course. Yeah, because you know
Because so
you've got to have your
when I went
McDonald's or your kebab.
well, because
Or both.
when I went to Germany for your German wedding, is what I refer to it as. The Sunday was free, and
You make it sound like we had every single hour planned out for you guys, and you couldn't do anything that you wanted.
well, it wasn't quite. Was it that strict? I'm just trying to think. The traffic jam on the Monday did scupper us a little bit.
I've got a
at
good
times.
story to tell about that one too. I can get that to someone later. Oh yeah.
But it was like 42 degrees on the
so
Sunday, and I didn't have any water, so I went into the town centre. I went to the tourist station, tourist information, right, and they were closed. I was like, great, thanks. And then I was like, well, I need some water, so I wandered up the whole length. I was like, there's the supermarket. Oh, it's closed. Oh, yes, of course. It's a Sunday. Everything is shut. I was like, why is it so quiet here? And where did you go to? I went to a Burger King. And
Yeah,
the
they're
only reason and the reason I got away without having to order in German is because they have the big screens and you can set them to English. So set that to English. And then literally I just ordered 5 bottles of water and that was it. Paid for it. And then the lady like picked up the card and was like, what? And then just came out with 5 bottles of water. Danke. Into the bag they go. Off I trundle.
I wish I'd seen this.
I'm resourceful. What can I say? You've got to survive. But yes,
She probably
You get
noted
used
that
to
as
it.
like the weirdest order that she's ever taken.
Yeah, she probably has, and they probably got like it on a board behind the counter.
They have.
You know,
It's
like,
like a
things
I'm
idiots have
Hall of
ordered.
Fame. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
am
Hall
I
of
famous
Shame.
or am I infamous?
You're infamous.
Yeah, I would probably say infamous.
I'm not
You're
sure. I
not.
can
You're
take
on their
that.
Hall of Shame. We've got CCTV photo snapshot of you.
Have you seen this
and
man?
But yeah, and 5 bottles of water. Don't serve this nut job. Comes in here on a Sunday. Just orders water.
On the hottest day
I
of the year,
wasn't-
he's walking around outside when no one else is there.
Hasn't he heard
Yeah,
of
it
a
was
tap?
It's a town centre. There was. What, is there
City.
is there a
City, my friend. It's a
It's a
city.
city. It is a city. You are. It is a city. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Maybe a tiny city. It is a city.
It is. Yeah. It's a fairly small city. I'm just trying to think. Would there be a public tap of any kind?
There are, but you have to know where they are.
Well, yeah, and judging by the fact that I only just managed to find my way into the city.
Ah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
I
was
was
hot.
trying to remember where you were staying. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I had a bit of a trek.
yeah.
Yeah, I had probably about half an hour walk into the city, and like. and
Your
the-
hotel, by the way, is literally like 100 meters behind me.
yeah, I'm yes, because you. Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Just facts
Fun
about
fact.
yeah, fun fact for everybody there. that's there. Yeah, because that's where you parked, and
That's where Philip
that's
picked
where we
us
got
up.
picked us up. Yes, that's where he
Yeah.
picked us up, dropped us into the hotel car park. Yeah, that was a good trip. That was a good trip. Anyway, you've got to tell us about the traffic jam, because all I remember was I was stuck in the smallest car behind the world's tallest man.
Sorry,
Or while
just-
Emma was behind
Who
the
were you
world's tallest-
with?
I can't remember his name. We
Blonde
talked
hair,
about
tall
them.
guy.
Yeah, we talked about them. They got
Um,
married recently.
Oh, Max and Valeska. Yeah, okay.
Yes, it was Max. I thought it was
I'm
Max.
really sorry. Just before we go into the story,
Yes.
so just to clarify, Sunday trading. So
In the bin.
there, you nothing is
No,
open,
I
basically.
enjoy it. No, I like it because the idea being that you have time for your family. So the idea is you do stuff as a family. So stuff isn't.
I ain't got time for
open.
that.
That flew.
I-
Fine,
I-
Dom.
My
Or a day where you do
argument-
sod all and you don't have to do anything. It's brilliant. There's nothing open, so you don't have to do anything. So you can
But-
sit in your pajamas all day and not feel guilty. It's brilliant.
I don't feel guilty when everything is open and I spend all day at home in my pajamas. You're assuming that I feel some kind of guilt that there's like, oh, the supermarket's open, so I best go to it. No, I think the bit for me is
And you
when I
also
forget.
can't do. So go on.
You forget. So if I come back from like a taekwondo squad training at like 4:30, oh, I've just popped to the supermarket and get something nice. Driving to Asda. Oh,
so
arse,
annoying.
it's closed.
So
It's
annoying.
the convenience factor, I
But
think.
it's
for me.
easier then if it's not open at all because you know on Sunday it's not open.
Yeah, that's a fair argument.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's the UK Sunday trading hours that drive me nuts more, because it's like, is it
Yeah.
open? Is it? You got to go and research when the flipping thing is open, rather than consistency. Rather than it's like it's open 6 days a week.
I mean, I think you do get used to it. It was a culture shock. I'm not gonna lie. And I remember when we did Erasmus in Bavaria, so it's even stricter than it is here.
Yeah.
One of my friends invited us over for Sunday roast and proceeded to think she could go shopping for said Sunday roast on Sunday. So we rocked up at her house and she was like, "So I'm doing a pasta bake because nothing was open."
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
So you learn the hard
So,
way.
yeah. Sunday trading hours. Can
So
get
is this going in then? 'Cause I'm chucking it straight in. That's for me. It's a no-brainer.
UK
but
Sunday
Samwise
trading
is
hours are
on
going
the,
in.
Well, no,
Actually,
even,
I've gotten used to it. If you're saying UK one, then yeah, fine, I don't care.
See,
Chuck it in.
It's a sheer inconvenience, because it's like, oh, I need to, because so it comes on there's two levels of inconvenience, right? The first is if you forget, right? So if I get home from squad training, and that is normally about 4:30 by the time I've driven back, right? So then you're like, just pop into Asda, and then you think, oh, arse, it's closed. So then you have to go to Tesco's, the small Tesco's, right? Which I just abhor, because it's too small, and whoever designed that shop clearly has never designed anything sensible in
You're
their
literally
life.
like a
Also,
grumpy old man, Dom. You're
I
like
am-
a grumpy old man.
there is no literally. I am a grumpy old
He
man.
is.
Have you not met me?
He
Right?
is.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
This and within this shop particularly as well, right? It can't be legal because there is no way you could ever get anything accessible in there. A wheelchair wouldn't go down it. The aisles are too thin. Drives me bonkers. But then because it's only open for such a short time, if you do go, oh, yes, no, I needed to get that thing from Asda, I'll pop down there now. Every man and his dog is being like, they've had like, rather than 7 till 10 p.m. like people, it's been condensed into 6 hours. So every man and his dog is in there, right? And you think, just why? And people are, again, the public. Right, I'm gonna have a chin wag with my best mate with them trolley diagonal across the aisle.
Oh, that's irritating at the best of times, though. That really
Yes.
infuriates me.
And people like what I don't get is if you've gone into a shop, and I don't know if this is me, right? I'm on my soapbox now, right? So I'll get off in a minute. But like, I go in, I have a list, right? And assuming that Asda hasn't decided to about and move all the shelves across, yes, I will bleep that, but right, they randomly just gonna just shift all the shelves around. They don't even bother taking them off the shelves. I reckon they just rotate shelves just for shits and giggles, right? But assuming I know where everything is, you get in, you get your stuff, and you get out, right? Easy peasy. But the amount of times you see people that open the door and they're like, oh, do I want that? Well, do I want that? Or do I want that? Oh, what do I need now? Oh, I just have... And you think, just get your stuff and go. I'm all about like efficiency and just I'm in, I'm out. I've got no time for flim flam. And you can't do that on Sundays. And then worst of all is it's when it's like, it's going to be busy. So why have both the parents and all the kids come down? Right? And there's like 12 of them and they're all over the place. And you just like, and the problem is I'm 6'3", so if you've got a child sprinting down an aisle that's only 2 foot, they're out of my eye line, right? They're gonna get clouted. And so you get the picture. I can't be dealing with condensed time. Permanently shut, I get, right? I can get that. Like I'm an on or off, not a somewhere in between.
I get that.
Does that make you happy now, Jerry?
It does. And for me, whether it's restricted hours, 6 hours a day, not open at all on a Sunday, whatever, I'm just going to take Sunday trading hours. I'm going to wrap up Sunday trading hours or anything that you ordinarily do on a Sunday. I'm going to wrap it up in a blanket of Sunday. I'm going to take the whole of Sunday as an entity, and I'm going to chuck. You're going to have to bleep this as well. There's going to be lots of bleeping in this. I'm really sorry. I'm warning you now.
My editing tomorrow is going to be hell.
It is. I'm going to take this whole thing and throw it in room 101 because I hate Sundays. They are a show. It's a shower of day. I actually prefer Mondays to Sundays. That's how much I hate.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's how much I hate Sundays.
I think Sundays also come with that Monday anxieties.
Yes.
That's like, oh, it's Monday tomorrow.
Sunday afternoon. Sunday mornings are chill. Sunday after lunch, I'll give you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the whole premise of that Sunday. In the bin. Right, we were going to tell the story of traveling between your. Hang on, what was it? There's a ceremony to the reception.
Yeah, so we had literally just gotten married. The guy had told us that marriage is for better, for worse, that you support each other, blah, 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 okay? We get in the car, having lost Philip's dad at one point, and seeing my parents sat with Philip's parents, so Philip, my husband, on the side of a road somewhere in Trier, where we live, going, what are you doing here? You're meant to be gone. Philip's mum's like, we've lost your father. I have no idea where he's gone. So this is the start of this journey. And she goes, no, you two go ahead. We'll catch up. So Philip and I get in the car. We start driving. There's been an accident on one of the only main roads out of the city. So Trier is like in a little valley, for those of you who probably haven't heard of it, which has the worst public engineering, whatever you want to call it, road network, train network in the whole of Germany. Like, I'm quicker in London than I am in Berlin, essentially. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the infrastructure is Shocking. Big or dumb. I saved you. I saved you.
Another bleep.
Another bleep. So yeah, we were driving out and there was an accident. So Philip and I thought we were being clever and took a detour, and we got stuck in more traffic. Meanwhile, Philip is losing his cool. He's really normally very good until a plan falls apart, and then he goes mental, to put it politely. And he's going, all of our guests are going to be there before us. We're going to turn up 3 hours late. We're going to miss the reception. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. And I just turned around and went, for better or for worse, we stay calm and we support. Meanwhile, I'm ringing his best man, being like, Martin, Philip needs some drinks when we get there. You need to make sure as soon as Philip arrives, you hand him something. Martin's saying, his best man was like, I've put snacks for you guys to one side. I've got drinks for you guys to one side. We rock up, and everyone, I mean, even Philip's parents were there before us. They were settled in, they were checked in. I have no idea how they did this. And everyone was like, oh, there was a bit of traffic. But if you'd gone this way, and Philip was like, yes, we didn't go this way. We went the other way.
So how late were you?
Not that late, but everyone had managed to check in. So I think we were sort of like half an hour, 40 minutes
That's
after
not
everyone.
too bad.
Which was
Yeah, it
okay.
wasn't
Like, I
too-
was fine with it because I was like, they have to wait for us.
I
Which
don't
is
have
actually
to
my
drink.
thing.
I had
Yeah,
2
it's your
drinks by this
show.
point. That was brilliant.
Exactly. I mean, when his friend had put the snacks to one side for us, so we had food, so I didn't care. I was like, okay, fine. Everything's good. But it just made me laugh. Not even half an hour after getting married, I was
were
like, see,
tested.
this is exactly.
For better or for worse.
Exactly.
And I mean, like, unfortunately, Max, this person that was met. Me and Vaneska were the two that did the swap. So I was Samwise's male friend at the party, and Vaneska
I just didn't
is
think
Philip's
you wanted to
female
necessarily
friend.
hang out with the
And then-
bridesmaids all the time.
So I went with the groomsmen, and Vaneska went with the bridesmaids. So yeah, we were the swap. That made I think your UK wedding that was quite interesting and fun because I just had like they were all on their top form, and the photographer that Samwise hired for her UK wedding there's no other word for it. He was a full Ron Weasley mental.
I
He
loved
was
him.
nuts.
But the thing is, he looked like my uncle as well. So at one point, I just kept mixing them up. So I would sort of like talk to this guy and be like, oh, hi, Steve. No, you're Ollie. You're not Steve. Okay. And you don't have a camera, so I'm safe right now. So it was literally just like this hot, because they were dressed very similarly. And it was really messing with me.
Yeah, he was absolutely balmy. It was great, but he was.
You should have been on the Zoom call we had with the two of them before. Because obviously we were stuck in Germany trying to work out who would do this for the UK. And we ended up doing a Zoom call with them. And it was only meant to be half an hour after work. An hour and a half later, we were still sat there. And they were like, oh, good God, it's like 10 o'clock. They're going, you should probably be going to bed, shouldn't you? And then we were like, yes.
Yes, but well, I got stuck in the traffic as well. But we were with Max and Vaneska. But Max is what? He must be 6 foot.
I know I learned this because it was a question at their wedding. How tall was Max? He's 2 meters and something. He's a giant, essentially.
Yeah, he's big. He's massive. He's a really nice guy.
Watching him and
But he
Philip
didn't
hug is the funniest thing.
But it doesn't. But they didn't have the biggest car.
Oh God, they don't, do they? No.
No, they have a fairly small car. So I sat behind Vaneska, but one of Sam's bridesmaids, Emma, who I also know really, really well, but a friend from school, she unfortunately was stuck behind Max and like kind of like sort of like this for like there's an additional like half an hour, and you kind of had to crowbar her out of the car afterwards.
Oh my God.
Like I said, like I've not been to a wedding that's been normal. Like I've either had some crazy
you saw the
room.
guests at our wedding as well. It was insane to the point where Philip's godfather, for whatever reason, I mean, he's the loveliest person you'll meet, but he is obsessed with Sweet Caroline. So Emma's dad and Emma's brother had for the whole journey Sweet Caroline on repeat.
Oh no!
He was playing it the whole time, and then in our UK wedding, we had a band. And he was going, oh, do you think they do requests? And I'm like, no, Aunt. No. Like,
No,
I know what's coming. I know this, man. I'm like, no. They don't. And somehow they managed to do the song.
Oh,
and it was the only song of the night where everybody got up And Arn,
That's
this
good.
guy, wasn't in the room. So we had to say to the band, hold on a second, we need to go and get Arn.
To pause the band.
We
Brilliant.
had to
Go and
pause the
grab.
band to go and get the guy
Brilliant.
who'd requested the song. This is my life. It's madness in the UK, it's madness
I mean,
here.
well, I think that's mostly due to your family, but we won't go into that too
I'll tell
deep
them
dive.
this. I'll tell them this.
I will very happily tell them that back. I think they are. I think they know. I think your mum would feign innocence.
I mean, she has to live with my dad and my sister, poor woman.
That's very true. So yes, right. Are you still with us, Jerry? Just
Sorry, that was a
Yeah, I
massive
am.
tangent.
No. It's all good. I'm with you. Although you did lose me at Sweet Caroline, I struggle with that song.
really.
I've
Must admit, I
overheard
like it now because it
Do
reminds me of such a good time. But
Yeah,
beforehand,
fair
I wasn't
enough.
so convinced.
Yeah, it's overplayed. It's like "Come On Eileen" by Dexy's Midnight Runners. And kind of go, okay, if I hadn't heard that like 10,000 times, I'd probably still like it. But
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah.
that.
Can't say I can't think of that song.
what?
What?
"Come On Eileen"? What? Yeah, you can.
Come on, Eileen. You say da, 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 da. You must know
yes,
this.
no, yes. I couldn't fixate the tune in my head. I was like, I don't know, I can't get this tune in my head. I think it's probably because I've still got Sweet. Like, yeah.
Da,
Yeah,
da,
I mean-
da.
Duh.
That song, I agree. I think I agree is very overplayed. As long as it gets played once at a party, and as long as it's the last song that's played, I'm good.
It essentially was at our wedding.
It
I
was.
think.
It was.
I think it was
yours,
literally what
and
they
it-
finished.
Yeah, and it was at my instructor's, and was it played at Hooper's? I can't remember if it was played at Hooper's. I mean, to be fair, Hooper had got Hooper's wife walked down. Hooper walked down the aisle to Star Wars music, so that was
That's
kind of the
epic.
highlight.
That's
epic.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I've not been to a normal wedding. I don't think.
But what is a normal wedding?
This is true. I think the biggest thing for me is every single wedding I've been to has had some kind of mental room, like, and even when I've had to stay twice for like the reception and the ceremony at different times due to COVID, and both your UK and your German wedding, the German one I had 2 mental rooms. I only had one mental room at the UK one.
I mean, our UK wedding one was good. We had a whirlpool outside. I loved it. After the wedding, I was like,
Yeah.
right, bye guys. I'm gonna go cool my feet for a bit. Just sign
It's
of
true.
ages.
It was winter.
It was nice.
Oh dear. Right, let's go on to food of the month. Now, I do love these. I'm going to get some props in a minute for my bonus bit, and you're all going to hate me. Everybody's going to hate me, but I can actually blame someone else, and I will blame that someone else when we get to that stage. However, Samwise has picked up 3, so we'll start with you go to meal deal, and then I've got
I
some
put
follow-up
this
questions.
because Philip absolutely hates this. So meal deals are not a thing really in Germany, but they
That was
are
gonna
in
be my
the UK.
question.
So I love it when we're in an airport and I go to Smith's or I go somewhere and I get my sandwich, which he thinks is disgusting because that's not proper bread. It's a very cultural thing. And you're seeing like an insight into our relationship now as well. He doesn't understand why he'd rather go hungry than eat one of those pre-packaged sandwiches. So it's always a sandwich for me, crisps, and the most expensive drink I can find. Because when it's in a
What-
meal deal, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's
Like
a smoothie.
coconut water or something. Yeah, smoothie.
Yeah, it's almost smoothie because they're the innocent ones if I can get them. Because they're normally quite expensive normally. I try and get the most for my money.
Do you
Yes,
have a
I'm not sad.
specific? Do you have a specificity on the sandwich, or is it just whatever takes your fancy at the
It
time?
depends on the time of year. So if it's at Christmas, it's always like a Christmas related thing because like the stuffing
Ah.
or something like that because that is also not a thing here. Otherwise, it depends on what time of day I'm flying. It sounds really sad. If it's in the morning, I don't want something too crazy. So something simple, like a BLT or something. But later in the day, I'll go a bit more crazy. I can't think of an example right now. It depends on what the airport has.
Yeah.
This is literally the only time I do meal deals.
It's the time you do meal deals is when you're at an airport.
And it's also to wind Philip up 90% of the time.
That's a primary
if the-
reason.
Yes. Oh, dear. I was because my question was going to be: is it a thing in Germany? But
Not really. I mean, Aldi are only now starting to do packaged sandwiches, which I must admit look absolutely horrible. I don't think I would buy one. They look really disgusting and horrible. And,
so, what do you normally eat if you're out and about? Like if
pretzels,
you
my
wanted to
friend.
grab
You
some-
go to a bakery and you get a pretzel.
Right.
Freshly made pretzel. Nice.
So that's my meal deal. For less than a year.
Can I just say, I think this would be a good point because you mentioned them. I would like to declare my undying love for Aldi.
I love Aldi.
Love Aldi.
I'm really sad that we don't have one that close anymore. We used to have one just across the road.
No.
We have to
You
go
were
further
in
now.
the centre of the city.
We were in the centre of the city, which was nice.
You were
Good point.
next door to a tourist attraction.
Yeah, we used to live next door to Karl Marx's house because Karl Marx was born in
wow.
Trier, and we used to live in the house and lived next door to the house he lived
Oh,
in,
wow.
which was nice until, and I'm going to be careful how I phrase this, you would have the Chinese tourists outside your house trying to visit, and you couldn't get home in the evening. That was always fun.
Because it's
And
a
that's
queue
slightly
outside.
good.
A queue like across your
They didn't
property.
queue, they just stood in the pavement or in the road and then wondered why people got annoyed.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
To
just trying to
put it
think if I have an Aldi near me. I don't. No. I'm not normally an Aldi person. I'm more of a Lidl person. I think.
Yeah, Aldi has it for me.
I love an
I don't
Aldi.
think I've ever
Love
been
Aldi.
into an Aldi.
Really?
Dom!
I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think I have.
Oh my God, Dom. How have you made it
Oh.
through life
So how have you never
to
been
this
to Aldi?
stage of life without going to an Aldi?
Not even when you were a student. There must have been an Aldi when you were a student.
Where's the nearest Aldi to you then?
I'm literally just trying to.
Is that what
figure
you're
that
looking
out.
up?
We've got two Lidls fairly close to me.
Two?
For
What?
some
What's
reason. Yeah, I know.
You need a Lidl
Are
and
you-
an Aldi.
Yeovil is a weird place, right?
Full stop.
It's a really small. Yeah, I mean, it's a really small town that doesn't really have anything. I think at the moment, the last quoted thing, 76% of the buildings were unoccupied in the town centre.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah,
bloody hell.
honestly, and they're trying to do a big revamp, and everybody's complaining because they're like, "Oh, you're going to make it worse before you get better." Well, yeah, because we've shut everything, right?
It's in Sherborne Road,
Yeah,
near
but
Domino's.
there's two Lidls. Is it near Domino's? Where is
It's not
it?
far
Aldi?
from Domino's.
This is not a very good audio podcast. Apologies, listeners. I'm on the internet. I went on the internet and I found this.
Yeah, it's a Domino's Pizza literally just up the road. You've got a Spoons, not far from there as well.
Oh, that's where the Aldi is.
Premier Inn,
Oh, I know
Hollywood
where
Bowl.
that is.
That's your weekend
Yeah,
sorted,
okay.
Dom.
You're looking at quite the wide scope, right? That's probably a good mile away, because there's still a good mile away. Because that is town centre. That's town centre. And stuff
But a
like
mile's not
So,
that
yeah.
far, Dom.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Just gonna put it out there.
You have been told.
But yes. Yeah. I know where that is. Yeah, I know where that Aldi is. It's a right. Whoever designed where it is positioned, it's probably the worst positioned car park to get into, because there's no roundabouts in that section. And if you make a wrong turn, you get stuck in a mile one-way system, and then you have
Ugh.
to kind of come all the way around. And it's like, who designed this, right? It just think people. Anyway, add that to my room 101. People that designed roads poorly clearly designed a Trier and Yeovil.
I was gonna say I'm with you on that one.
But dare I say, I think you do need to add this to your bucket list, which is to go to the Aldi.
Go to an Aldi. Is it an Audi or is it an Aldi?
Aldi.
Aldi, please.
Aldi. Okay. I'm going to rely on you, Samwise. You're the expert in terms of pronunciation, I'd imagine. I believe it's a German shop.
As is Lidl.
Yes.
Shock horror.
Yeah. Need to go there to get all my what are they called? They're Christmas type. They're like
Lebkuchen?
bisque. Yes.
Or
Those.
Speculus? Lebkuchen or Speculus?
No, the first one.
Lebkuchen. Yeah, Philip went and did the Christmas shop today. It's the gingerbread stuff. The gingerbread with the chocolate on it.
Oh, I'm thinking of some medical instrument. I'm thinking this is dark.
I don't want to know where you're going.
Honestly, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, Speculus. Yes. I know what you mean now. Are these similar to Biscoff?
Oh, I love... Yes.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah.
We have all of this sat in our kitchen in the bag of do not touch until Christmas. The temptation is so strong.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, the other thing that I
pizza
thought it was,
toppings.
I'm definitely not
sorry.
going there. I'm going to quickly shut that tab. Right, sorry. Go ahead.
Pizza! Let's go to Italy. Let's just change country completely.
So it depends on the pizza. I want to say this is a proviso. If you're going to an Italian restaurant and you have like a proper pizza, margherita all the way, you cannot beat from a good Italian just a simple pizza. However, and this is where Jerry's like, oh God. If
please.
I'm going for
please.
There's one of two. It's one of two, okay?
Okay.
The dreaded pineapple and ham Hawaii, I will do if I feel really crap and I just don't want a lot. Otherwise, it's barbecue. But I had Dom was like, you have to say the pizza. Dom was like, you have to do the pizza. So this is what I was
God. We start off
You're
with
gonna
the
get both
gee,
of us
she
for
went
this,
there.
isn't it? Because I think barbecue pizza is a bit of a sin.
Yeah.
Because
No,
they always
it's-
replace.
It is. No, it's a sin.
No, it's good.
It
If you're getting
depends.
takeout pizza and it's greasy, you want that type of stuff. I don't want a proper... No.
But
I think it's because I when you have like barbecue sauce on the base of a pizza, I find the barbecue sauce becomes a bit too overpowering.
and
It
sickly.
depends on where you
as
get
well.
it from, I feel. There are some places where it is really, really disgusting,
Mm.
but other places where it's okay.
Mm.
Like
I've yet to
Domino's,
have a good
no.
one, I think.
Domino's, no.
Yeah, Domino's, absolutely not.
Can't do that.
I've now got a question. Do you have Domino's in Germany?
We do. There's one just across the up the road.
Oh,
But we
But
don't
no
order there
Aldi?
because it's just... No, of course not. No Aldi.
Flip.
But we've got a massive superstore that's sort of like Tesco's, Sainsbury's, just up the road.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Just trying to picture that area. now.
If you were driving towards Philip's parents from where your hotel was,
Mm.
it's just as you leave Trier.
Oh, yes. I do remember now. Yeah. So, I mean,
Your
with the
memory
pizzas-
is very impressive, Tom.
Is it though?
Well,
Is it
for
really?
geography of Trier, considering you've been once kinda, and once for an afternoon, I think it's impressive. Because we took you for you had a tour from Philip that time you came over, and there was the Circle Festival.
Yeah. We had,
That's
the,
what
we,
I'm
had the
gonna
best, we had the best tour guide ever.
Yeah, we did.
And then we got reasonably drunk. That was
Yes, we
good.
did. That was a good day.
No, like geography. I don't know how my brain works. Don't like
I'm not gonna
thinking
ask.
about how you think is a bit of a mind boggler, isn't it? When you know being able to think about your thoughts, right? That's just kind of one of those. Yeah, you get the idea. Right, best form of potatoes.
It's got to be a chip. Like for me, I really miss proper chips. Because what they call chips over here, no. They're
Well,
French fries.
when you say
they're
chip-
tiny.
oh.
Well, chip to me is like what you
It's
have your fish and chips. It's proper
Right, okay.
chunky.
chunky
I miss
chips.
them so much because they don't do them properly here.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, fish and chips, like the chips that you get with fish and chips, are
I
always
literally
great.
crave these because you don't get them.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if they're from the seaside.
Oh, stop
I was going to say the most recent meal that myself and Jerry had out together was at a fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
And
it. I
then
literally can't remember the last time I had a fish and chip shop experience. It must have been last Christmas.
Oh, you need to go to Palmer's.
Last Christmas.
Because I haven't been to the UK this year.
No.
I haven't. No. We came over for Christmas and we left before New Year.
Yeah, that's true.
I did plan on coming over, but then this year happened and I don't know how that didn't happen.
Oh, you were in Madrid for about 3 weeks, weren't you?
Not Madrid, Spain.
Okay.
We were in Madrid for just 5.
5 weeks?
I wish. I wish.
No. Fair enough. Right. I am going to get my props. So I'm going to have to take my headphones off and actually walk over because it's still in the fridge. So bear with me. I won't be able to hear you, but you might be able to
We
hear
could say anything now. He would never know.
me. You could say anything even when I'm on the call anyway. I deserve
True.
it, probably.
Well, you already
Yeah,
have.
you
He's
admit
got
it.
a lot of bleeping to do.
What's nice is I can see
Actually, now would be a good time to just say he won't know until he gets back and he listens to it. So
Oh,
if
we
I
could do
said,
anything, couldn't we?
he's going to have to bleep all of this.
Oh my God.
Arse.
all I can hear is Samwise. just getting
He's
all
not going to know
out.
until he listens. He's not going to know until he listens. Hey,
have I
Dom,
done now?
all right? How's it going? All right?
Right.
Stretching, don't mind me.
Yeah, you can't say that because that's normally. Well, I'm not going to say that. Well, we've done the last quiz, or are you doing another quiz, aren't you?
We're doing one more in January.
One more in January. So, my props. Now you know what this is about, but for the audio listeners and for the visual listeners, I have a pot of this. Oh, that's really bright.
There we go.
I have some of this strawberry jam. Not sponsored, by the way, but it's got to be seedless. And for the size of these things, I didn't realise how big they were.
Jesus.
Oh, scone. Nice.
I know they're massive, isn't it? Look at the size of that. It's actually first question for you, Jerry. This has sultanas in this scone.
Yes.
Is that offensive?
No.
Because it's sweet?
Yes.
With sweet.
Yes, although I wouldn't eat fruit and nut. But sultanas in a scone.
But that's not.
is-
That's not. But that's
that's not
chocolate.
sweet.
Chocolate.
That's yeah. That doesn't offend me. I think it needs to. Although I must say I do prefer a savoury scone. I'll take a savoury scone over a sweet scone
Oh,
any
the-
day.
also
So
the
a
world's
bacon and
crumbliest
cheese
A
scone.
cheese scone. Oh, yes.
A bacon
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cheese scone. Yeah, that.
I need to try this.
Yeah,
These are like the world's most crumbliest ones, so they're going to ruin.
That's
my
a good
experiment. It
thing.
makes
Crumbly
sense.
scones are good.
You need to eat them
Right,
over your
so-
keyboard.
I deliberately pushed my keyboard back. I have an air compressor that allows me to blow crumbs out of the
Oh,
keyboard,
nice. Look
basically.
at you.
So you can get those cans of compressed air. I have one that you can plug into a plug. Best
Nice.
thing I ever bought, and not that expensive. So, age-old debate, and also because I get to eat scones and jam. Cream or jam first?
Jam then cream.
Yeah.
Jam then cream. So you are both Cornish. That's the Cornish way of doing things. Is to put the jam on and then cream on. Why do you do it that way around?
Because it's easier for the cream. Because you dollop the cream and then gently spread it.
Yeah.
If you do it the other way around, it's a mess.
Yeah. You don't have as good adhesion, do you?
Yeah, you
do.
can.
Yeah, exactly.
You spread the jam on, and then you get a spoonful of cream. You dump it on top, and you're done.
Yeah.
You don't need to spread the cream.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can poo bear this. This is the best stuff known to man. So, controversially, then, I've got two. I would have two arse, but it's kind of all crumbly.
What have you done
So-
to the scone?
Honestly, I don't know what happened.
Decimated.
Like, this is the other one that I've got. Right,
What
I've
has
got
that
another one
scone
here.
done to you?
But if you look, I'm like, it's just like, look, it's
my
just
God,
falling apart.
it is.
Like, it's
Wow.
just a disaster. I had a funny feeling this is going to be an utter mess.
That scone's
Right.
like a metaphor for my life.
My week.
A week. Well, life.
What do you mean you're weak? I think it's the last 3 months for you, Samwise, based on the
Rude.
conversations that we've had.
Rude.
Well, you're the one that complains about work, not me. So. Well, that's a,
I was going to
that's a
say,
massive
do you want to
positive.
retract that statement?
Who complains about the work most in this call? That would be me. Hey. So, don't worry, I'm not going to stick my knife in the cream that's got jam on it. You're going to get a spoon.
Oh, please don't. That's a savage thing to do.
What, a spoon?
No, putting the jam in the cream.
Oh, yeah,
God, no,
of course.
the spoon's fine.
So,
Sorry, I'm just pouring more wine.
Nice.
Don't mind me.
it's fine if you
I
don't
might
use
need
the
to go and get a
bathroom for
scotch. You're making me want to drink. You're making me want
We've
to
had
drink.
behind us, no, seriously, we had behind us for, it makes it sound like my department are alcoholics, but we had our Christmas party in November,
Scotch.
and we literally had our cupboard full of the alcohol we didn't drink. And we decided this week we should probably move it from the cupboard behind and put it somewhere where it doesn't look like if senior management come that we are all raving alcoholics.
Right. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So I've got jam on one and cream on the other, right? Do you reckon that this prevents like the people arguing? I've got cream first on one, jam first on the other, and then I go like that.
Oh, no! Dom, no!
You're
What
an
are you
animal.
doing?
You're an
This is like the
animal.
time we had, again during Erasmus, two of our friends were Americans, and we decided to do afternoon tea. And one of them said, "Oh, do I cut the scone before I put the stuff on?" We went, yes, 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 of course you do. And she didn't cut it this way.
No.
She cut it this way. And we were like, no. Yes! And we were like, no, what are you doing? And she was like, you
Okay.
said I had to cut it. And we were like, what are you...
Brilliant.
These are like pre-cut down the middle, by the way. It's quite helpful, but it doesn't make.
Yet you're still killing them.
Yeah. So I've got a second scone. I haven't eaten the first. I will eat them. I promise. But I will have to go put this in the jam. So I've now got a second scone. So this was a suggestion by a certain Miss Francis
I knew it.
when I went to visit. And I've never seen them so excited about something, to be honest. Apparently. Do bear with me. I am spreading jam. I feel like I should have blue peated this, but
I think you should have done. And here's one I made earlier.
I don't know how I'm going to do this one, by the way, and I think there's a reason why this is mental. Where's my spoon? Freaking cream is the best thing.
This is brilliant for people just listening, Dom. It's brilliant.
For the benefit of people who are listening and not watching, Dom is having a mare.
It's not going to work. So, does this settle the debate? Jam on one side, cream on the other.
Oh, what?
What are you doing?
That was Laura's suggestion. She was like, "Well, just put jam on one side and cream on the other side, and then it's both
No.
first and."
But no!
What? Laura.
So that was
Oh,
my
what
that
is
was
this?
mine and Laura's attempt at solving the cream
You
or jam
failed,
first. I am gonna
both
eat
of you, and I will message her just to say you failed. I haven't spoken to her in quite some time, but I will just send her this.
Thousands of years of scone evolution. And we're
Down the
at
drain.
this point, down the drain, just wasted.
Yeah,
I
I
hope you're
think I
happy,
still
Dom.
agree. I mean, I'm ecstatic because Laura's going to be ecstatic because she was like, "You have to do this." Honestly, I went up to see her for the whole weekend, and the thing that she got most excited about was jam and cream on scones. So,
Each to their own.
I mean, it still tastes all right. I'm just impressed that I managed to get the cream to sit on the base of the scone.
Yeah, I'm
and
waiting
not
for
come
something to fall off and it to go literally horribly wrong.
off. It's like, honestly, you should see the mess.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I can imagine.
I would move the camera, but my hands are so full of cream and jam now. This is the problem. Like, I'm gonna have to like pause from my end in a minute, go and wash my hands, and put the cream back in the thing, and at some point eat the collapsed scone and lick the stuff off the spoon. So.
You didn't plan this well at all, did you? You should have done a Blue Peter. Oh, God.
Now I can't speak because I've got mouthful of foam.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
I've also realised, I don't know if you see, my hands are covered.
Oh, my God.
Dom,
How?
Right?
for God's
And I
sake.
don't know how I'm going to get my headphones off to go and wash my hands. And my cable's not long enough for me to get over to the sink.
No.
So, talk amongst yourselves, people. While I try and do this.
No, I
you know
wish you were on
what's coming
camera
up,
to see
don't
this. Yeah, I know exactly what's coming up.
The thing is, so the bit that you can see is a lot smaller, but the camera is a lot wider that I put on the podcast. So you
Okay.
can't currently see it.
Okay,
So, but you will be able to on the final edit.
good luck.
Final edit. I need it.
I'm waiting for the abusive message tomorrow. Be like, why
it's
did
going
you
to be
do this?
hilarious. It's going to be absolutely hilarious because he's already got enough editing and bleeping to do.
This will teach him next time to prepare.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to say,
So, oh, hello.
it caused a bit of mess.
What has he
Wow.
done?
And now I can't get the camera straight. Right.
Is this like a cry for help? Do we need to send in an
Yeah.
I feel like we need to. Like, some insights of Dom's life that everyone thinks he's got everything together.
and
this
clearly he
is how he
hasn't.
gone. Get social services over there quick.
Well, let me just look the number up.
I'm getting there.
Actually, if nothing else, I might call the Cornish police.
Because I didn't think about the cleanup.
Why would?
Getting ready.
Yeah, I think
What
I'm
are you
going to. Oh my god, I had no idea we were going to be doing a podcast and Dom's basically like, I'm just going to quickly hoover the flat. Yeah, you go for it. Just
I
gonna
mean, he can
bleach the
come here
toilet.
and do the house if he wants because
might as well
I haven't
come
cleaned
over
him. My parents are coming tomorrow, so it would be useful.
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus.
Did you get a mop as well, or
Yeah. Clean the windows. Dust.
oh god, I need to do the windows here. Sorry, this is like turning into a middle-aged podcast. The sun was shining the other day. We looked out. We were like, oh god.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
obviously it's been raining for like the last 10 years.
yeah, I was going to say I haven't seen the sun since September, I think.
We did the other day, and we sat in the office and went, good god, it's sunny.
What is that bright burning thing? in the
Exactly, what is
sky?
this?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not living in the UK now, somewhere. So you like that's the sun is more
No,
existent.
but there's
surely,
this
where
thing
you are.
called weather and atmospheric pressure that means that anything you guys get, about a day later, we get.
Well, we
This
never
is
got
true.
It
sun.
all comes across from you, apart from the sun.
Right.
We keep that for ourselves.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, we don't get the sun.
Welcome.
What's that?
Don't bother sharing that, will you?
I just said we saw it the other day, Dom. It appeared in the sky, and we all sat in the office and went, "It's sunny." What have you done?
Another bleep. No, it's,
Oh no!
Trust me, it's going to be the least of your worries. Hell.
I don't know what to do with this scone. Like I want to eat it, but it's so crumbly. It's unbelievable. Look, it's the whole thing just fell apart, and I've already washed my hands. Oh, I'll save that for later.
Why are you touching it again if you've literally just cleaned?
It's fine. It's fine.
As I said,
Have
we
I got
need
any in my
third
beer?
help.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
already made the call. We've got Cornish police on the way for a start. They should be
Don't
there
tell
in
me,
about
Uncle.
6 minutes.
Honestly, my uncle is I mean, technically uncle-in-law because he's married to my auntie, but married before I was even born. And honestly, you can take the man out of Cornwall, but you can't take the Cornwall out of the man.
Of course.
God, like he's proper kind of. I can't even do it. I don't even know how he speaks. He just honestly, it's like you know, it's another accent, but it's in the same vein as Scottish, where you hear him and you think, is this English? Like, I'm not convinced that this is English. This is not a thing. Lovely man,
Oh,
great
amazing.
sense of humour, absolute carrot cruncher.
He might
Right,
appreciate
well, there you
my
go.
pirate
So-
joke.
Which pirate joke?
Okay. It's going to be the worst. You know how bad I am with accents. Okay, so bear with me.
Do it.
Okay. What's a pirate's favourite letter?
What is a pirate's favourite letter?
Say R.
What?
Just say R.
R.
Just humour
R.
me. Nay, 'tis the sea.
Oh my god.
Do you know
Well-
what? I've cracked that joke about 50 times. You're the first people to have laughed.
I don't know what that says about my humour though. We have a
I don't
team
know.
meeting for one of the team projects, and me and this other girl start. I say girl, other colleague start every week now with a dad joke, which we think is only for us because half the team aren't native English speakers. And at one point, we asked our head of department a joke, and she sat there and went, "My 4-year-old child wouldn't find that funny. I don't get why this is funny."
Yeah,
And we
a
just
bit
went,
harsh.
"Ooh, okay, thanks."
I'll get me
Bowing
going.
out that one.
We're like, "Okay, we've discovered our humour level is below your son. Thank you."
4-year-old. Just to add.
We were fine with it.
I mean, like on a scale of 1 to dad joke, that's definitely dad joke, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I need to remember this one for next year.
Oh dear. Right. Now that I've got crumbs out.
Yeah,
of
you're
it,
right there,
have I
Dom.
got crumbs out of it?
Jesus.
Right. So the thing is, right, because obviously the conversation always goes, do you put the jam or the cream on top? And I have some friends that are like, you use the cream like butter, which I think is heathenous, right? What is like no, right? Because because my argument to this, right? Question: when you have like marmalade on toast or jam on toast, do you put butter on it first, or do you just have the marmalade or jam on?
Butter.
Butter.
No, so I have nothing. Like, why would I want butter? I just want the jam on the toast. What?
No, because the butter
Why would
soaks
I-
into the bread a bit and then gives it a nice.
And a bit of saltiness as well. You want salted
Yeah,
butter as
yeah.
well.
But then you're sticking. Then you're salt, and then you've got the sweet jam.
But how much butter do you think we're putting on? I'm not putting on like a massive like thing like this. It's just
Well,
like
Okay, actually, then you start to then agree with my argument. Like, if you're gonna put jam on your, if you've put like cream on your crumpet on your scone,
What?
I don't know what's going on. It's 8:45 at night. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But if you put,
crumpet.
I haven't got any crumpets, so I'm not going to do that experiment. Larry's going to come in and wonder what's wrong,
my
Jerry.
God.
But sorry, so you put a small amount of butter and then you put your jam on your toast.
yeah.
If you've got your scone, you don't want a small amount of cream. You want a dollop of cream, which means that you're not going to then be able to spread your jam because it's just going to get
But I
all over
wouldn't
the
put
place.
cream
isn't it?
first. I would do jam and then cream.
Well, exactly.
So
yeah,
I
exactly.
wouldn't-
So that,
But we don't want a big
Yeah, so
dollop
you-
of butter.
yeah,
We
that's
don't, like that was a thin layer of jam and then go, you know what, I'm just going to take
I'll
half
go
a block of
with
this butter and just plonk it on top. Just
No,
maul
no,
my
no,
way
no.
through it.
it's got the cheese touch.
Yeah, it's gonna- Oh my God. This is
No one ever say I'm not funny. But my point, I mean, basically, you're agreeing with my point. I'm trying to argue
Are
against
we?
the people that say put the cream on. Put the
What?
cream on first. They're wrong.
brilliant. Disagreed with us and now you're
Jam
backing
on-
us up.
jam
No,
on
we agree
first. No, jam first, and then you spoon a dollop of cream on it. No need to spread the cream. Done.
Yeah, but if we
But
want
Laura
butter,
Yeah, but
yeah, but
you
wait
were
one
talking
second.
about with
Yeah, no.
toast. You said
Yeah,
about
the toast. Yeah, but back to the toast. Like I just don't have butter, right?
Well, that's fine.
But because you have such a small, thin sliver of butter, which is fine, it's acceptable, that you wouldn't have a dollop of butter and then a dollop of jam on top. Oh,
What
it
is
doesn't
going
matter. It doesn't matter. Let's just.
You went, and then
Except-
you deviated. You went cream on the crumpet.
Yeah, I know.
We went.
That
way
sounds
off
like a
base.
euphemism for
It
something
does,
there.
yeah. Oh, you put cream on your crumpet. Okay, I just okay. Moving swiftly on. Oh my God.
Well, I know, Samwise, that there has been a couple of episodes where we've said that we've made you laugh.
Yeah.
So, did you expect to laugh quite as much while I'm actually recording the podcast as well?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I've had to stop listening. I've honestly had to stop listening on the bus because I would have to pause it because I was scared people were going to think I was actually crazy.
Oh, that's amazing.
During the mask wearing times, it was fine because you could kind of laugh behind a mask and no one would see. But as soon as it's time to like stops, I'm like, oh, everyone can see my mouth. Oh no, I have to stop this.
That's amazing.
So yes, but at least I haven't gone full crazy, and you don't put jam on one side of your bread and butter on the other side.
No,
The day you
That
do
would be
that
Laura's
is the day I
suggestion.
get you sectioned. Okay.
and we were this close,
You've
Dom.
been-
This close.
I was
watching
saying
you
you've been trying for 15
eat
years.
that. Eat that
It's for your own
scone.
good.
If not longer. Is it longer than 15 years now?
I was trying to work this out.
Yeah, was it year 8? Year 8?
I know well, definitely when we were doing GCSEs, we were friends. But I can't
So
remember. We
earliest-
must have been before. Because it's not. It would be weird that from year 9 we weren't friends, and then year 10 overnight, oh yeah, we're friends.
Yeah, I would have said it would have been year 8, year 9.
I would tend to
More
agree.
likely let's go year 9 because it would have been more likely that because it's a little bit different in year 8. So what year 9 is?
I don't know.
Oh Jesus. Ugh.
I think it's a year after year 8 and 1 year before year 10, if I'm not mistaken.
So it'd be 13 to 14. Oh,
That's nearly 20 years.
That's nearly 20 years. Next September is 20 years.
Oh, God.
How have you survived?
I question myself this regularly.
Hey, makes you feel any better. Erin's known me for 27 years this year.
Hey, poor soul. Poor soul.
Can I
I
just
mean-
say, you missed an opportunity. Sorry, Samwise. You should have taken a massive gulp of wine at that point. That was cute.
I should have
That's what
done.
You should have done.
I should have done.
Sorry.
Shoulda, woulda,
need
coulda.
this.
I've got the bottle still here, yeah. So
Nice.
I'll just get a straw.
I'm just. Did I do something wrong in a previous life that I get blamed for all of this?
Brilliant.
Maybe I'm going to change from my agnostic, or maybe the cream.
I said the cream will help
scone
with
is where
that.
I can get rid of my agnostic. I'm going to become spiritual, and then I'm going to question all my life's choices. I've been questioning those for a long time. Don't need to become spiritual for that. Right. Am I forgiven, or have we forgiven Laura for a suggestion of putting them either side? Or
No.
not?
I can't forgive what I have just witnessed. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Excellent. Great. Shall we go into pointed questions? Let's move swiftly on. So these are some of these are amazing. And I just they're not going to be quick fire. We're not going to do, even though we tried to do quick fire last time, Jerry, and it was the worst quick fire we've ever
It
done.
was. And I'm proud.
So, pointed question number 1: do you sleep on the left or the right side of the bed?
How are you looking at the bed?
And I,
Thank you. That was my
well,
question.
yeah, that's my other question. Which is the left and which is the right side of the bed? Is it as you look at it that it's on your left and it's on your right, or is it as you're lying down and it's on your right, or as you're on your left
I would say as you're lying down,
as you're lying down?
because I wouldn't look at myself lying in bed.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
And do you have a specific side
Of course.
that you there all the time consistently?
Yeah.
I mean, I live on my own. I'm single, so I sleep in the middle. Right? There's no other way. I can very easily be like, it's in the middle. Also 6'3", so I need the space. But this came about on 2 levels because somebody said that they swapped sides in a work conversation, and they said, and it was better. So they're now trying to argue with their partner to say, can we permanently swap sides? And he thinks it feels a bit weird. And then the other thing that came about this, and I think me and Samwise probably had this in a couple of classes. We didn't always in all classes have a set seating plan, but we sat in the same seats every single time.
Mm-hmm. It's like in the office right
Why?
now. We don't have a seating plan. Like, you know how like pre-COVID, everyone had their areas and everyone had their designated seat. we've now got flexible working spaces and blah, 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 blah. So the idea being we probably don't have enough desks for all the staff that we have in the office, which means that theoretically we have flexible working spaces, i.e. a desk where anyone could theoretically sit at any time. But of course, we've all taken our desks, and God forbid anyone sit in anyone's desk
Yeah.
because this is your seat. You leave all your stuff there. You have your stuff, and I don't understand. I'm with you, Dom. I think it's because we're creatures of habit. So you get used to a setup. Because even like, it sounds really sad, even like at the dining room table, I sit in particularly on one side of the table, and I always sit on that side, and I don't know why. I might sit in a different seat, but I'm always on that side.
Interesting.
No, see, when I go home to my parents, I sit in the same seat every time.
Exactly. So when Philip came into like the family, so to speak, we had to rearrange the table slightly to make space for him because everyone had their seats.
Was that true for you as well, Jerry, at school, or?
Well, it's
Are you
true.
a
It's
lawyer
true.
yourself?
It's true even now when I go to the office.
I'm going to eat my scone, by the way, while I'm doing this.
Yeah. When I go to the office, I go to the same. I sit in the same seat every time. As for bed, diagonal. You want it 45 degrees, and you just want to take up maximum space.
Are the dogs allowed in bed?
I would love it if Larry came up and chilled out in the bed, but he doesn't for some reason. Whereas Turd Sandwich does, but she doesn't. She doesn't sort of snuggle up, sort of next to you or anything. What she'll do is she'll hop up onto my chest, for example, and her ass will be like in my face, literally.
Nice.
Like her butthole will be about a centimetre from my nose, while she then chills out and falls asleep on me, which means then I can't really move. So
It's like
yeah.
a cat's. It's like a cat selecting your lap. Once a cat has sat in your lap and selected you, you're not allowed to move.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like she is very cat-like. She's a cat-like dog. Old Turd Sandwich, bless her.
Yeah, it was just an interesting discussion that came up, and I'm like, it doesn't breathe any concept to me because, I'm like, yes, at school we definitely sit in the same seats. I wouldn't say I sit in the same seat when I go into the office, but I go into the office so infrequently that it's whatever seat's available. So
Yeah, but you tend to sit in the corner. You sit
I
in the
do
same
tend to sit in
corner
the corner.
most of the time.
If I'm there the earliest,
Yeah,
I will get
the
I will
window
go in
seat
the corner.
in the corner. Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah.
I can see everyone
Well-
coming, so I can hide as well.
Nice.
The reason I like it is there's no thoroughfare.
Yeah, exactly. People
So
have to come and see you, so you
there's
know
n-
that there's an effort being made as well.
Yeah. It means I can sit in my seat, see him coming over and go, God, what do you want? Which pleases most people.
This is when my headset goes on and this bit goes down, so people think I'm on a call.
Yeah. Or like me on that Wednesday we were all in the office, I actually was on a call for 7 hours.
Everyone's getting into the Christmas spirit, and poor Dom's like on
And the
calls
Scrooge.
non-stop. Well, it wasn't his fault, to be fair, was it? I think
No.
your calendar was horrendous that day. I don't know why you didn't push stuff
I have
out.
two.
but-
Yeah, I'm interviewing a lot as an interviewer, not an interviewee.
This is what I had this week too. Yeah.
And which means it's just whenever they're available, basically. And if your calendar is free, they just go, recruitment,
Yeah,
just go,
they
I'm
just
just going to
block
slap
it,
that
yeah.
in. And it's like, really? 4 p.m. on a Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
Who does
Yeah,
that?
but I always moved them. I always said to,
This is why I
You
put
need
focus time.
This is
yeah.
it's
This
not
is what
UK
focus
recruitment.
It doesn't matter. I just
Let's
put,
just say,
book over this time slot and face the consequences. Yeah.
yeah. I should probably book out my calendar more, but I'd like to be open and honest. Crazy fool, who does that? No, or normally because my calendar is so rammed that I don't actually have time to do it. I mean, you've seen Jeremy's seen my calendar a
stuck on
couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, my Thursday is quite often 8 hours of calls. Yes. Just 'cause we love it. Okay, my second poignant question. How many owls would it take you to see before you think something is wrong? And I don't, there's no concept of what that wrong is. But, if you were out and about and you saw an owl, you'd be like, oh, don't see an owl very often. That's interesting.
I
Then
think
you
I
see
would
a
be
second
slightly
one.
freaked where I live, though. Living like in a very urban area, and I saw an owl, I think I would be quite concerned.
But how many would it? But I meant, but how many would you get to before you suddenly go, I need to look at the news or I need to contact the authorities?
So
how many would
Harry
it get
Potter
to that
here?
point?
Is this where you?
Yeah,
Have you been
Harry
watching
Potter.
Harry Potter recently?
I finished the Harry Potter books with Stephen Fry the other day.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
But what? How many would it take for you to actually have to take an action and be like, what's going on here? Do I need to check the news?
I don't know.
Because 1 hour is suspicious. 1 hour is
One hour
that's
suspicious.
interesting.
That's the quote.
What type of owls are we talking about? Tawny? Barn?
Snow.
Any? I mean, how often have you seen them?
No.
I've never seen an owl. Not like in the
What?
wild.
Not even in a zoo?
Yeah,
No.
I've seen. Yes, I've seen them in the zoo, but I haven't seen one just chilling.
You've seen them on Google
like you do.
Images.
Other search engines aren't available.
Netscape Navigator.
Oh, we're not that old, Jerry. But what would it be? 3, 4, 5?
But are we talking about at exactly the same time or over a period
Yeah,
of time?
that's a good
Because if
point.
you see 1 hour every
Within
5
a day.
minutes, within a day. Oh, okay. Well, then it's gonna be quite
Within a day.
lot.
How many in a day would it be? Because if you saw 1 in a day, you'd be like, oh, that's interesting. You saw 2, that's a weird coincidence. 3, you'd be like, hang on a minute. 4, that's when you start sort of going, what the heck is going on? 4 hours in a day.
And are they all the same looking owl? Because it could just be the same owl.
No, different owls.
So they've got distinguishing features, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm on the 4, 5. 5 hours in a day, I'd be like, something suspicious is going on.
No.
I still think it would be 1 or 2 because I would find it very weird if I was in Trier and saw owls just by themselves. And it would probably make the news if there was some weird thing with owls. It's a small place.
Fair enough. Jerry?
3. Unless I was at an owl sanctuary.
Well, that's what
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're at an owl sanctuary, it's a little bit different.
Or living near an owl sanctuary. Or walking near a owl sanctuary.
Yeah, but
a sow sanctuary?
I mean, if you...
An owl sanctuary? A sow sanctuary.
Somebody says you sound like an owl.
Yeah, no, you're not getting me.
Sorry.
I mean, look, but if you saw an owl outside of an owl sanctuary, you'd be like, hang on a minute, do I need to contact the owl sanctuary? Have they got an escaped set of owls? Right. So maybe that would be less or more.
Could have a whole Shawshank Redemption thing going on, wouldn't it? An owl sanctuary. Tom, I've asked some weird questions, left field questions. This one takes the cake. What the fringe? How many owls?
I thought it's great.
Okay.
But it's a genuine conundrum. At what point would you be concerned about the number of owls that you're seeing?
3.
This is why I asked what the period of time is. Because if it's at exactly the same time, it would probably be a high number.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what? So if you saw a flock of 20 owls suddenly land outside your
I would
house,
be very concerned.
I
I would be very concerned.
You'll find it's not a flock; it's a parliament.
It's Parliament. It's so true. Yes. Okay, 10.
Yeah,
What?
for sure. That I would find weird.
5.
Yeah.
To be honest, more than 1 I would probably find weird. If I'm going to be honest.
And what sort of action would we be expected to take? You say, "Oh, I'm concerned." Well, what do? Do you call Owl Line? Do you call the RSPCA? Do you call the police?
No.
You say this, my dad rang the police one time because there was a peacock in outside their house, and we don't live in a fancy house. Obviously, we live in a normal urban area. And the police officer legit thought my dad was taking the piss because my dad rang up and went, "Hey, there's a peacock outside," because we're close to
Full hot fuzz.
It really is. It truly is.
The swans escaped.
no, you want the, but there's peacocks on the high street. And my dad was like, no, 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 no. There is a peacock on our street. And if it gets like 500 meters away, it's on a main road and could cause a serious accident. And they were like, oh, this happens all the time, sir. I'm sure that it will go at some point. And it was there for like the whole afternoon. It was really weird.
Oh my God.
A peacock's quite a unique animal to have land where your parents live.
Yeah, it was a case of Dad looked out the window and went, there's a peacock outside. And everyone ran to the window and was like, what?
Okay, so
Or pull the other one.
doesn't that help with this question then? So how many peacocks would it take you to see
One.
before you think something is wrong? One, in that instance.
In this scenario, yes.
Right?
Peacock or owl, though, I suppose, isn't it? I suppose it depends
But
where
if
you
there was
saw
an
the owl.
owl near my parents, I wouldn't find that weird.
No. Interesting.
Some,
I've probably bamboozled you with this question, haven't I,
yeah,
Jerry?
you have. I think every episode now we should choose a different bird and see how many sightings of that bird would cause alarm. Like how many sparrows would you have to see before you thought there was
Oh, a lot.
something
Oh,
wrong? Yeah, that'd be
never.
hundreds.
I
wouldn't
don't
it?
think it would ever cause me alarm.
Okay.
All right, I'll go into the third question. Slightly bird related. The question is probably quite easy to answer, but it expands. Do you think if you shaved a penguin, it would be cold?
Yes.
Yes.
Next question.
Jeez. What the?
Can I ask, what were you like drinking, consuming, or whatever when you came up with these?
Yeah.
Because I maintain that the intervention, it needs to happen. Because I am.
Was this Wednesday?
I think so because
So I
that
finished
question.
on Wednesday. I did have.
Look,
The
I did have a
scorn that
couple
now
of
these are
ciders on
questions.
Wednesday evening.
it's got feathers
Uh-huh.
for a reason. You shave it, of course it's going to be cold. It's like
First off,
saying,
I mean, have you ever seen a?
cool thing?
yeah.
So,
there's
like, I
that
mean,
as well.
okay, but have you ever seen a bold penguin?
No, but that'd be
No.
really sad because they're probably stressed and have picked them out themselves. So that penguin needs help, and you shouldn't be mocking it.
Oh, now you make me feel bad.
How many
Yes.
penguins would it take you to see before you think something's wrong?
I mean,
That's
if we
a
saw a
question.
penguin outside of Samwise
Here,
parents,
one.
then we'd be very concerned. That would be definitely one. That would be a case of when you phone the police, they'd be like, we'll take him to the zoo. And then you ring him back the next day. Well, I did that yesterday. Where shall I take him today?
Tom, I'm genuinely worried about you now.
I wouldn't.
I am.
I think these may have been Wednesday night when I did have a couple of ciders after finishing for the year for work.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Now it makes sense.
I suppose it doesn't.
Well, I thought that question was bad. The next one's the worst.
Oh, heaven.
What is a boulder?
What? What? What are you talking about?
What is it?
What?
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. Get me Shrek quote in. But
Tom, are you
what is a
okay?
boulder? No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm great. I mean, blame like I've like today I've dismantled like scones. Right, we've discussed Sunday trading hours and the general public. I've had a couple of rants and I've got many bleeps to put into the first half of this podcast. This is my revenge, right?
Oh, just you wait, my friend. Just you wait.
Wait for what?
Oh, you'll see.
Oh God.
So, Dom, are you
can't
on
even
crack?
know
Have you been smoking? You must have been smoking crack when you wrote this.
I'd had a couple of ciders.
How many are a couple and what size are we talking? Because this is not just
No,
two
generally
normal
two.
size spiders.
No. This is genuinely two pints.
How many ciders would we have
But
to
you forget,
have?
I haven't drunk alcohol like in consistency for like 2 years, and I've had a fairly significant
true.
infection within that area. So, I was like, oh, I feel quite buzzed. I feel pretty
So
alright.
how many? Sorry, so you had what? 2 ciders? Did you say?
2
Okay,
ciders.
so how many
ciders?
ciders would it take you to see before you think something's wrong? I know the answer to that. It's 2. Do you want me to give you? Look this
No,
up.
it might depend, right? It might depend because it depends on how quickly you've drunk the ciders. Like if it's over like a 3 hour period, I was probably
Yeah.
fine. But I think I probably had these fairly quickly. Like
On an empty stomach?
Actually, I know. I hadn't had dinner yet.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah, okay.
That
my
explains it.
final call,
No,
I
okay.
even joked about it, and then I was on the call for an extra half an hour.
That explains it. All makes sense.
4:30. Get that cider down. I drank the first one and I drank the second one while I was cooking dinner on Wednesday night. Then I wrote these questions.
So in
Are
geology,
you now looking at the...
yes, of course I am. In geology, a boulder is a rock fragment with a size greater than 25.6 centimeters in diameter.
Oh, that's
You're
cool.
looking at the
So that is
same
what a
wiki
boulder
page
is.
as me.
Is there like so it's like a gradient? It's like rock, boulder...
Yeah, pebbles,
Smaller
cobbles, and
pieces are
pebbles.
cobbles and pebbles.
same page. Same page.
Well, it makes a change.
Next
for me,
question,
doesn't
Dom. Move on to someone.
it? What is the meaning of life? Seems that I'm reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy now. Let's switch from one but to the
42.
other. Meaning of life. No, I'm joking.
Thank you.
42. I haven't got to that part yet, but I have.
Sorry.
Before.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Hashtags. Oh dear. Right. So, if you drop your soap on the floor, and I'm talking like a bar of soap,
Absolutely ridiculous.
So,
does the floor become soap? I know when you say something so often, it doesn't. There. That's because I've just eaten another piece of scone, and it's scone thing. We could talk about the pronunciation of scone or scone, but that's
Scone.
another whole. Oh, I've heard scone quite a bit, but I'm happy with scone. I use scone. If you drop your soap on the floor, does the floor become clean or does the soap become dirty? I love this
Both.
echo in silence. Oh, both. Okay, fair enough.
Both.
yeah. So actually, it depends on how clean your floors are. Because if you've just cleaned your floors and then drop it, it wouldn't be that dirty. I would hope.
You'd hope. But I like to. So the expansion that I had on this was right. So what? Like let's change it to a mop that you're mopping the floor. At what point is the mop dirty and the floor clean? Oh, sorry. Is there a point? Sorry, when the mop becomes too dirty to clean a floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then is there a
But
pivot
it also
point where you
depends
can
on the
get like-
water. Because if the water you're using is not clean, then you can't clean your floor. So
And
you'd
the
have to
size
change
of
the
your mop.
water.
And the amount of
Exactly.
water, and the strength of your detergent, and the state of your floor. Honestly,
I feel like I'm on
Well,
a completely different page
well,
to you two at the moment.
honest to God, might as well just go back to the does a pope in the woods. That question made more sense than these.
I did say they were poignant questions.
Poignant. Okay.
You let me come
You
up
have
with
a-
these
You
ones.
have a good
I love
definition
them.
of poignant, Dom.
Yeah.
That's true. It's just a thing. If tomatoes are a fruit, is ketchup considered a smoothie? It's just blended tomatoes. So.
Well, technically it is. Quite frankly, yeah. When you think about it like that, technically it is.
But it doesn't mean Sam are going to drink it in the morning.
No. But I will dollop
Well,
loads of it
does that
onto
mean
my
it is a
pizza.
smoothie? Does a smoothie have to be drinkable? Is that a definition of as part of the definition of a smoothie?
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's like a yogurt, isn't it?
Yeah. So does that make ketchup a yogurt?
Well, no,
Is
because it's
this-
not dairy.
Is it a soup sandwich or a salad? Do you remember that?
Well, I was
Yeah.
going to say my second part from this is a burger technically a sandwich?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hot dog?
Yes. It's not salad.
Yeah.
It's not soup.
Oh yeah, it's the soup, salad, or sandwich. That was what we had with Hooper. I could hear him screaming out now. He's not here, so I don't have to bleep him this time at least. Anyway, so that was valiant. If you took a ship and replaced all of its parts until the original foundation was no longer intact, does it still count as the same ship, or is it now a completely different ship? Now, I'm going to put some context behind this one. So, I have recently got into watching. It's called The Smallest Cog, which is Richard Hammond's car restoration company. And I was like, on a restoration, they always say, "Oh, it's original," and I'm like, but it isn't because it's not Like, how many cars that are 40 plus years actually have all their original parts? Or has at least one part been replaced? Whether that's a hose or a tyre or something. So what is the definition then of an original?
If you have the majority of working parts or the majority of the object that is of that time, I would say it's original. But if you replace everything, it's not original. It's like the original, but it's not the original.
Is there a percentage point, or would you say it when it's 100%?
50.1.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say anything over
Damn
50%.
Damn you mathematicians and your thing. I know the other mathematicians will be screaming at me about that.
Yeah, I'm not a mathematician, huh? I'm far from
Technically,
it.
you could just say 50%.
I'm not academic in any way, shape, or form, Dom. You got the wrong person.
Rubbish. Rubbish. Oh wow. This one is perhaps more of a. Again, this is Laura's fault. I'm going to blame Laura entirely for half of this podcast. Maybe not the what is a boulder and the penguin one, but if you enjoy wasting time, is that time really wasted?
No,
No.
because you enjoy it.
So how would you then refer to it as?
Enjoyment time.
Relaxment.
So this came about.
Come on, Tom, please. Like, step it up.
I've just asked. I just got these questions. Maybe I shouldn't come up with poignant questions anymore. I've only been doing it for the last 29 podcasts, apart from the quickfire round that Jerry did.
Oh, dear.
And I'm just going to break them. So this came around because I've deleted social media from my phone because I don't enjoy it, even though I'd endlessly doom scroll.
What, everything?
Yeah, but then if you don't enjoy it, then that's fine.
Yes, and that was where it came
Sorry,
about.
Dom, everything. What, Facebook, Insta, everything?
Yeah. I have WhatsApp. That doesn't really count. I don't really count that social media.
That's
That's
messaging.
messaging.
That's
yeah.
messaging, yeah.
You got rid of
Yeah, so I have no
Facebook, no WhatsApp.
So I still have the accounts. So I've still got my personal Instagram and my personal LinkedIn and my Facebook, and I have a
LinkedIn's
Oh,
not
and have
social
the
media, though,
distinctive-
is it? Technically, it's business, more
What would you define it
I would
as?
say that's business networking.
But networking is social,
Business.
is it not?
It is, but I think LinkedIn is very much a social. Social.
Aha!
This is Dom's fault. Oh, sorry. Wait, my small hand. This is Dom's fault. I forgot I had my small hand on there. Sorry.
For our audio listeners, Jerry has pointed with his finger at Samwise and had a small hand on the said finger.
And the small hand of the small hand.
Jerry does this in meetings.
I do. I love it.
We're at work.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So you're detoxing
But
from
yeah-
social media.
Well, no, I have the willpower of a snail, so I've decided to I'd still have the accounts, but I wanted the inability to be able to go click on Instagram and then just scroll like for hours. And it reduced my screen time on my phone from an average of about 5 hours a day to like less than 3 on a couple of the days.
Wow.
Ooh.
Which I was like, oh well, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. And actually, I even went because I didn't have it on my phone when I went to visit Laura, which is why I've got all these crazy ideas.
You had to talk to
there was
people
one
again.
point where I know. So I'm pretty good at talking. Like I'm very good at hearing the sound of my own voice. That's why I did a podcast. Right? That's why I got here. But where was I going with this? I've noticed at one point I didn't even check Instagram on the daily. I didn't even log onto the website on a laptop or something, or even on my phone on Safari, or another web browser is entirely plausible. I own an
Netscape
iPhone, so
Navigator.
Safari. I wonder if you can get Netscape Navigator. Which was good, right? And I realized, as bad as it sounds, there are certain the people that I follow sort of about 80 people, I think, on Instagram, and I don't really give a monkeys what half of them do to a certain extent. Like, I didn't really miss it. It was quite it's quite nice not having it on my phone. And also I don't get the end of scrolling because, oh, this has gone a bit serious all of a sudden. What I find is obviously it picks up upon what you do as a lifestyle. So I get a lot of Taekwondo related stuff. I get a lot of dogs for some reason. And I get a lot of, how's best to do this? Various kind of mental health supporting things, as well as a lot of ADHD and autism stuff that appears on my feed. Again, I blame Laura entirely for that. But it meant that, like, there's times I'm like, oh my God, that's, you know, the Taekwondo and gym stuff. Most people are like, oh, that's really inspiring. But I'm just going, yeah, but I can't do that. Shit about myself. So, like, I've deleted another bleep, by the way. Although that one might stay in because I think that has impact. So that I think the point being, like, it was, but when I spoke to Laura about this last weekend, she was like, oh no, I actually just enjoy that. I feel no negative feelings from doing that. So I have no qualms when I sit there and scroll. Like, I don't feel guilt. I don't feel that. And it was just interesting when I was thinking of these questions, or researching these questions, it was like, if you enjoy wasting time, is that really time wasted? It's the same as, like, is social media actually bad if you enjoy it? It should only be bad when you don't enjoy it on, like, a kind of a gambling level, because it activates the same part of your brain as gambling. So yeah, Gambling Anonymous type thing, social media anonymous, or whatever you want to call it, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Friends Reunited Anonymous.
So yeah, that turned our poignant questions from, like, something where you were ridiculing me to me going, well, actually I had a point on this one, so
fair enough. But I think it was a very clear-cut answer, though, which is, if you enjoy it, it's not wasted.
No. Fair enough. Why is abbreviated such a long word?
It's probably because of the language stem. I'm not, like, an expert in this, but I bet you it depends on the word's origin.
Yeah, I'm sure you could Google it. The thing I wanted to bring up on this one was the ironies in language, or the English language. So, for example, who thought of spelling dyslexic like dyslexic for dyslexic people? Who thought it was a good idea to put an S in lisp?
Ooh.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah. And I can't even pronounce this word, but I should have probably counted how many letters it was beforehand. 1, 2, 3, 7. This is a 37 letter word, and it is the fear of long words.
Oh God!
I'm
gonna have to look that up.
Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia. I've butchered that, but that's
I was
the
going to
word.
say, bless you.
Got some cream for that.
And then there is, abophobia, which is the fear of palindromes, which in itself is a palindrome of the word. So the word that is to have the fear of palindromes is the word itself is a palindrome.
That's just cruel.
So that's I think it was like, these are the ironies in the English language. So
I'm still trying to say this. I'm still trying to work out how to say that 37-letter word.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now.
You looked it up.
Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia.
I think so, no?
I mean, we could just put it into like the translate and get it to read out.
I wonder if that's a really short word in German. I'm gonna look that up.
That would be the irony.
That would be
it?
very
I
ironic.
would laugh.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Oh, why is it done in American? I don't want it in American. Rude. Gosh, I've never seen something so American.
You'll be pleased to know it's pretty much the same.
I was going to say.
Oh yes, it's phobia rather than phobia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and even pronounce that. There's no. I wish they could make it slower when they. But yes, that one. But I mean, the German language has many longer words. So.
But they make sense because rather than saying the such and such of the such and such of the such and such, they take the individual words and just make one word, which is fine if you know what's going on.
I think my fact that I used to know about German language was that they don't have a word for kettle.
We do. There is a word for kettle, but it describes what the kettle does.
Yeah, Wasserkocher.
Wasserkocher, yeah.
Which is water cooker.
Cooks the water.
It does what it says on the tin.
And that you quite often that's quite often how they form languages. The words are it's like a description.
Well, it makes sense because back in the day you would say, "Oh, what's this?" You know, it's the thing that does the such and such.
Yeah, I suppose I've never been asked what does a kettle do.
Exactly. I think it was probably called kettle because it used to be for like a big kettle pot. Like it was probably the old English word.
What's vacuum cleaner in? Is it like the equivalent of
Staubsauger.
dust sucker upper?
It's the thing that it is dust sucker. Staubsauger.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that is brilliant. So if you had to translate Dom to German, it'd be scone eater. Right now.
I mean, there's many words I could use, but I don't know whether I can.
None of them are repeatable on the internet. Thank you very much. I'm not sure I like this. The table seems to turn. That is now. This is what happens. You'd fit in quite well with some of the social circles, Jerry, because I've noticed quite quickly this is just translated into bullying Dom, which someone has figured out
bullying.
has
It's
19
character
years.
building. It's character building. Please,
It's endearing.
This is what I've told
it's endearing. Flipping heck, Dom. It's endearing. We do it because we love you.
Exactly.
What was the quote that I sent the other day?
To whom?
To you.
To me? Oh God.
Oh no, it was what Steph said. She said,
Oh, it was good. It was really
God.
good. I need to find it. I've forgotten it already. After I said, I need to remember.
I'm just trying to think. Would it have been?
Please hold. I'm scrolling. I never question that I love you. I sometimes question if I like you.
Ooh,
that's what I
good.
can only get from my friends. Oh yeah, just inform. So Swanee, Steph, you've both lost the game.
Oh bloody hell!
They are going to go nuts, and I'm going to get a text when they listen to this episode. And they're like, "What have you done? Why have you done this to us? Why have you done this to us?"
Amazing.
Brilliant. Anyway, last one. Why is it that when you're driving and looking for an address, you turn down the volume of the radio?
Because it helps you to concentrate.
Do you know why?
Do you know why?
I do know some of the reasons
Or are
why.
you not
actually,
just BSing us?
No, I genuinely know the reasons why. It's the same reasons that people that have autism generally are then overwhelmed when they go to very loud places. It's a sensory thing, and your brain has only got so much capacity to do something. So if there's a loud noise, it's processing the loud noise, and generally it's processing it. So it's so, and then if you suddenly have to, like, if I'm driving home, I know where home is, right? So I will just, as I get closer to it, like even if I've got the sat nav on, I still roughly know where I'm going. But if I'm driving to somewhere I've never been before, like as I get closer to it, I will actually either turn music off or at least down, just so I've got like that extra bit of concentration, because then my brain's not processing something else. And so I can be like, right, which turning is it? Where am I going? Who am I seeing? what's that idiot doing there normally when I'm driving? It's, those general bits and pieces. So yeah, it's just about the brain's ability to do multiple things at once.
Nice.
Which in my case is not very much.
We've already established you can't cut a scone and talk at the same time. So.
Well, honestly, right, look, this scone, right?
I'm never going to let you forget this. Never.
Look at the amount of pieces. Like I've cut it once, which was like in half, and it's just like falling apart.
It looks horrible.
And all the jam's fallen off. I know.
That looks like a casualty scene.
Yeah. I was going to say this is a car crash.
That's all right. It's fine. And yes, those are the colour of my plates, by the way.
I quite like them.
They are just the plates that I decided to purchase. And because I didn't want boring white ones, if I was totally honest, I wanted something a little bit different. But it shows the dirt less up, so that's good. There you go. So am I now banned from doing poignant questions going forward?
No, I love
Jerry?
them. I think they're brilliant. Keep doing it, because you've actually managed to come up with more randomness than I ever have been able to. I love it. So yeah, let's continue with poignant questions. I like the fact that you call it poignant questions. They're not really poignant questions, are they? They're like absolutely bizarre, but I love them. So yeah, I have to keep doing it.
Complete humdingers.
Yeah.
Complete humdingers. Right, we'll do something topical then.
Say what?
And I know. Oh, look at this! So my dad has just sent the daily text into the family chat room. So I'll read it out.
Family chat room.
Yeah. We all have family chat rooms on WhatsApp.
It's called
the thing
group.
is, right?
No, it's called group. It's not a chat room. We're not in the 90s.
Group. What? I was born in the 90s.
When do you think I was born?
I'm the youngest here. That's the weird thing. I've never said that for a while. But it's Advent for him at Christmas, and his Advent is to post a Christmas joke every day. Now, my sister and my mum still live in the same house as him, but he still feels the need to put it in this group.
Of course.
So I have to suffer as well. What do you call a snowman's kids?
I'm honestly trying to work this one out now. I don't know.
His children.
Oh, God.
That's what I like. I like that. Oh, dear. And then my favourite one from the week, which I'm going to have to read out, is what happened when Santa went speed dating? He pulled a cracker.
Good Lord.
Right, on to topical question events. So we've alluded to it, but Samwise, you're officially a German citizen, I believe, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So like myself and Jerry are just going to ask you questions about what it's like to be a German citizen. Obviously, that's why we knew that you would be very much against Brexit. And I'm very jealous that you have that European Union passport, because it makes my life absolute hell traveling to the European. And I suppose the first question is, did you become a German citizen, you have to correct me, before you got married?
Yes. Because it was the joke when I had my ceremony, I turned around to Philip in front of his parents and said, I don't need you anymore.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that is just genius.
I'd like to we have been together for 3.5 years by this point. And me and his dad are literally like this, which he hates because no one ever gets on with his dad as quickly as I did. So I was like, see, this is a good thing. But he still decides it's not a good thing.
That's
excellent. Because Philip becomes the butt of the jokes.
Yes, he does.
Your poor husband. So I was supposed to... Sorry, go.
No, I was going to say, he's just as bad when my dad's there, because then I become the butt of the jokes. Because my dad's like, yes, finally, male support in this house.
This is true.
Because for Jerry's reference, I just have a sister. So it's me, my mum, my sister, and my dad's like, oh great, Philip's here, finally, some support.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and amazingly, just a complete side tangent. Is Martin and your dad still doing archery?
My mum and my dad are doing archery now. my dad has got my mum going archery, and they have bows, arrows, and for Christmas they ask for some sort of protective pad. Yeah, don't ask.
So,
Oh, God.
for context, right? So when they did the wedding in the UK, I don't know what you went for a tea, I believe, didn't
We
you?
did a nice civilized afternoon tea, which was good
So
fun.
and all the gents, we went and did archery.
As it's lashing with
And-
rain, I would like to add. So we had the last
Oh,
because we were sat in the dry.
It wasn't lashing with rain. Honestly, it was like last scene from the third Matrix type rain. It was
was awful.
absolutely hammering it down. Full cats and dogs, you name it. And Wolfgang didn't. No, was it Wolfgang?
Yes, didn't have a coat, so Emma's
Oh.
dad had to go and get him a coat.
Yes.
And Emma said it was the weirdest thing. So Wolfgang's my father-in-law. My friend Emma said it was the weirdest thing seeing the front door open, and my father-in-law walking into her house going, "Coat?" And Emma being like, "What?" And then seeing her dad follow behind going, "He needs a coat."
But from doing this archery session, Samwise' dad and Martin, Emma's dad, loved it so much they took it up as a hobby in the new year.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and somehow my dad's got my mum to go along, and my mum loves it. And I said to my sister, if you need support, if you need help, I'm happy to send, again, intervention. I'm happy to come over and talk to them both.
Intervention
And say, look,
for archery.
yeah,
When you get the
Pensioners,
message,
huh?
when you get the
Pensioners.
photo, well, yeah, oh yes, that's true. Oh, to have retired parents. Oh.
yeah, it's concerning.
Mhm. And depressing, because then you kind of think, well, I've got another 30 years of this.
Yeah. Or
At
as Dad likes
least.
to mention, he stopped school at 16 and started working, so I still have longer to go than just that time.
Oh,
Wow.
He
my
let-
dad hasn't pointed that out, but if my mum listens to this podcast, she will point that out for him.
It's something he likes to bring up every
Rubbish.
so often. When we jokingly say, "Oh, you're the reason that UK is going down," these pensioners taking pensions before they need to do blah 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 blah. He's like, "I started working at 16. I don't need a Tory government to tell me I can't." And so the rant starts.
The thing is, I can totally hear your dad saying that. Oh God, that's made me feel quite.
You're welcome. Happy Christmas.
Don't dwell on it, Don. Don't dwell on it. Don't be happy Christmas.
I'm not going to dwell on. So anyway, back to becoming a
Back to them.
citizen, deviating. I suppose my question would be, because was that a different process than if you were married?
Well, you can get, I think, because I don't know how it works if you're married, but it also depends on whether you're an EU citizen or not as to how stuff works, which is why I did citizenship when I did. So I applied, I need to think, in I think it was 20, oh, I can't remember. I need to try and work out where I was working. I think it was 2018, 2019. I think I got the citizenship in around that time. I can't remember exactly. And it was a bit of a,
pre-pandemic.
it was definitely pre-pandemic.
Yes. So it would have been 18, 19, definitely.
And it was during the transition period. So obviously with Brexit, there was a 2016 to 2018 that was, I say, normal. And then there was that transitionary 2 years. And it was during the transitionary 2 years that we did this. Because under German law, you're not meant to have two passports. They don't like two passports because you're either or, which I understand because they don't want a lot of people coming over, getting two passports and just leeching off the German system, which I must admit there is logic to this. But under EU law, you can become a national of another EU country and you are not allowed to give up your other EU nationality. Now, as much as I love living in Germany, I could not ever give up my British nationality. I hate the country at times, but I'm also very proud to be British, as I think a lot of
I
people.
hate the government, I think.
Exactly, I hate the people in charge, but I don't hate a lot of the people there. That is always my distinction. I'm very critical of the people in charge, but friends and family and all that type, all you types, I have no problem with, and I'm proud of that side of things, you know? I'm proud of the things that make you British. So I always said I could never give up a British passport, which is why we did this, because I wanted the dual nationality, because with Brexit, I knew my life would be a pain because I work in Luxembourg, which would mean I would need a visa to be able to work in Luxembourg because I would be working in a different country to work. Yeah, you're now starting to see where the pain comes in.
That's bad.
And basically, we did the application. It kind of circled some of the stuff that you should have done because you're meant to take a language test. But because I had done my master's here in a mixed degree, so some English, some German, the woman here said, no, it was fine. If you sat courses in German, it'd be German with German legal stuff. You've got good enough English, fine. But just English, German, you're fine. We'll waive that bit for you. So I still had to sit the usual, and the UK does this too, questions about Germany. Now I can tell you, if I had to do the UK one, I would fail. We tried this, like the practice questions, I failed. The German ones I think are a lot fairer. So you have some history questions, some cultural stuff, but not sort of stuff that people in Germany would also know. So there's a lot of, I think, fair questions. And then you have sort of like locally related questions. So I had to answer questions about the state that I live in. So what's like the capital of the state that I live in? Where's like the regional government, all that type of stuff. Which I think is also fair. If you're living in an area, you should probably know this type of thing. Like there weren't stupid questions like, what's the capital of Germany? Like that wasn't a question. It was there was a question that was like, what was the capital of Germany between 49 and 1990 or something? Because obviously when the Germany was split into two, Berlin wasn't the capital of West Germany. So you had to be able to answer both. So I found that quite interesting. But yeah, essentially you have to prove a lot of things, jump through a lot of hoops. But if I'm going to be honest, when I applied, I think the German government were looking very sympathetically on a lot of Brits and just waving a lot of people through where they could, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because when I had my ceremony, the mayor turned around and was like, yeah, this year we've got quite a lot of Brits in. I didn't realise we had that many in Trier, because there were quite a lot of us, which was nice, because I think it shows that a country is accommodating.
Goddamn Brexit.
Exactly.
I suppose, is there a specific prerequisite?
You have to have lived undisturbed, for a whole period of time, and I'm trying to remember the dates.
I'm very disturbed. Have you seen the poignant question?
Yeah.
I'm very disturbed.
I think it's a time frame. No, you would never. I mean, first you have to be German.
Even if you live there for 10 years, undisturbed.
I think you have to live there for 6 years. You threatened to section me twice. Yeah, well, more than twice, my friend. More than twice. Yeah. I think 6 years you have to live there, which I had, but just because of a mess up in the German system. So Germans pride themselves on being very efficient and very accurate, yeah? I did my Erasmus in 2012. I registered in the city authority. I said, I'm living here, because you have to register when you move to the country. So then I hit the German system. When I left, I still have the bit of paper that said I deregistered. But the Germans didn't deregister me. So for them, I was living in this place until I popped up again a year later.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got it.
So it never broke that continuity then, technically?
No, because even though I moved back, and we said on the application, I went back to the UK to finish my year of studies, but because I had a contract already signed when I was in Germany, to come back to Germany to do au pair for a year, they said, no, we think this is okay because you're showing your intent to come back, and it's just because you have to finish your studies that this works.
Take that, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't count it. Wow, that's decent of them.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get it. It was literally down to a couple of weeks.
Wow, that's really decent of them.
Oh, wow.
This is why I said I think they were a bit rule bending for certain people.
I suppose it was one of my things because I was like, because you got this before you got married, and you always kind of sort of say that's normally the normal route in is you marry somebody else and then you get dual. Although you hear people that go, I've got my British passport, my partner has their German passport, and then my child has dual citizenship, but I can't get it yet for whatever reason. I've just swallowed another bit of squall and I'm just giving myself hiccups, so excuse me. I'm so unprofessional when it comes to this podcast. So yeah, I suppose that was the. I was just because I don't think I've ever actually asked you.
I mean, it was
how
just
the process
because
went.
I figured if I was going to be living in the country, I wanted to also have a say. Because if you
Mm.
aren't a citizen, you can't vote. And I don't vote, although I could in the UK.
Ironically, completely the opposite of what Brexit is, isn't it?
Well,
That's the
Exactly. So my point was I didn't want to vote in a country that I don't live in. So I refused to vote even though I still could in the UK because I don't see why I living outside of the country should influence what happens within a country. If that makes sense.
No, please do.
But
You're actually a logical person when it comes to politics, and we've got a bunch of morons on at the moment. So.
Oh, I can just vote for James Gray the whole time. It's fine.
No, for God's sake. Just as
James Gray is the local
Conservative.
MP for our constituency, and if it's
okay.
anything decent, he votes against it. He's Tory.
Yes, he's a Conservative in Wiltshire and needs to be beaten with because he's.
Yeah, exactly.
A stale scone. Beaten with a stale scone.
I wouldn't waste a stale scone on him.
Yeah, true.
That I think you mentioned earlier about a culture shock, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But there must have been some others.
Yeah, Germans are very to the point. They will call a spade, which the first couple of times you're having maybe a conversation with someone as a Brit, you kind of go, "Ooh, okay." But I must admit, I like it because there's no circling around, none of this sort of fakeness. If they're not happy with something, you know about it. They're not rude about it, but they're just direct about it, which is quite nice. I quite enjoy it now. But yeah, the Sunday trading stuff, that's also a bit of a weird one. You can't do DIY, like loud DIY on a Sunday. That's still a thing. You can't do garden work on a Sunday. Yeah. So everything has to be done on a Saturday, which is a bit annoying. But it depends, I think, on more where you live. If you live like in a city area, it's more not so cool. But if you live in sort of like small villages where everyone knows everyone, it's kind of a bit more relaxed. But unfortunately,
is it not specifically is it specifically garden work, or is it like specifically noisy garden work?
It's
like
noisy. You could probably go out like weed and stuff, but you wouldn't mow your lawn.
Yes. Yeah. You could,
Oh wow!
Yeah,
sorry. You wouldn't mow your lawn on a Sunday.
Oh, God forbid, no.
Oh wow. Okay.
And people could report, like, depending on where you live and how strict the other neighbors take it, people can report you to the authorities.
What the frig?
It's so strange. And you also have, which I quite enjoy, if you're living in like rented accommodation, you have like noise hours. So between 7 and normally 10, so 7 a.m., 10 p.m., you can make noise. After that time, you shouldn't be playing music too loudly. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that, which I must admit I quite enjoy. And in the previous place we lived, we would always say, look, we're throwing a party tonight. We're doing this tonight, so it might be a bit louder. And if you want to come, there's free beers, blah, 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 blah. So it's always like, I think it's quite nice because you know that normally then during the week, you can sleep. But weekends, it might be louder, but I think there's that nice respect still there.
I do know that there is a law in there used to be a law in Switzerland that it was illegal to flush the toilet after 10 p.m.
What?
And before 6 a.m. Yeah, because it made so much noise that it was like in certain buildings it used to be illegal.
Wow.
To do that. I'm pretty sure it's Switzerland.
That's insane.
That is crazy. I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
No, me neither. That's got to be like a really old law from like back in the day. Like, that can't be a modern thing.
Oh, it's probably some of the
like 1800s or something, surely.
Well, did they have flushing toilets in 1800? I suppose it did.
Oh, okay. It's by no means illegal in Switzerland, but it is a general. They have the noise complaints, and if it's over a certain thing, there is a restriction on.
How loud does your toilet have to be in order for it to cause a noise complaint? I'm sorry, that's.
Well, I was going to say, but it's part of this. It's evidently part of the noise. The noise between it's the same time 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. 10 p.m. 6 a.m. whichever way you want to kind of go clockwise round the clock rather than anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't have that in the UK. People do not give a
It's because you guys don't care about anything.
no. So I was going to ask, what is significantly better? I know it's not the trains. We've had this discussion before.
Sorry. Wait 1 sec. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I think my ears are deceiving me. Are you seriously telling me that the rail system in Germany, is this what you're hinting at, is not as good as the rail system in the UK?
It's better than UK, I think, but it is not perfect.
I mean, there's a rule apparently on German rail that freight trains have right of passage. So this is why a lot of other German trains get delayed. And when I get delayed, it's not like a small delay. It's normally 10, 15 minutes, which is it's okay if you've just got one train. But we've done sort of from here to Hamburg, which is an 8-hour train ride on a good day. And you have to change because Trier has literally one train track that goes in and out. So you always have to go to the next place up to be able to go anywhere. And if you miss that connection, you then miss your high-speed train to the next place.
Oh no!
Exactly, it's crazy. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. But if you talk to any Germans, they'll tell you it's awful.
Well, at least the
But
trains
I think it's just
run.
because I come from the UK, so I'm exactly. So I'm okay, well, they're a reasonable price for starters. It doesn't cost a holiday to go anywhere, and they're they're going to turn up at some point. So for me, I don't think they're that bad. But if you talk to a German, they'll tell you they're awful.
They ain't Japanese trains, I can tell you that.
French rail system's very, very good as well. French rail system is amazing.
I think everything outside of Paris is all right in France. Paris is an app
the metro's
the most
good.
overrated city. Yeah, if you want to get typhoid or pneumonia at the same time, honestly, Paris is, in my opinion, the most overrated city in the world. It is so dirty.
Big words.
The people are exceptionally rude and just, Paris. I was disappointed.
But did you go with people who lived in Paris, or did you go as a full-on tourist?
Oh, I went as a full-on tourist.
Because if you go with people that live in the city, it's a really cool place.
There are some really nice places. I just found it very, very dirty, and and if you are a tourist, they can be very, very rude.
Which is one thing I will
surely
say
you want
about Germans is that they're not. They are, to me at least, I find them the friendliest people ever. And whenever I've had people come over who don't speak a lot of German, the amount of effort that everyone makes, and I'm sure Dom will back me up on this, to try and make you feel included and make you feel like you understand what's going on. A classic example is my husband's boss. My husband's boss and my dad at this. So before our German wedding, my in-laws held what's a traditional type of evening in small villages, where the whole village would normally get together and celebrate the wedding. We didn't really do it to that extent, but we did that type of a thing. And Philip's boss came. And I remember at one point of the evening, I don't know how much we had all drunk by this point, standing on the drive, and Philip's boss speaking German very slowly to my dad, and my dad speaking English very slowly to him, and the two of them going, "We understand each other. Hey, this is good." And it was just this beautiful case of everyone stood there going, what is going on?
That's brilliant.
I was more, I think the term is intimidated by your aunt than I was by Sabine and Wolfgang, I think.
I mean, my father-in-law doesn't speak English. Which is
he does.
Well, for years,
he speaks more than he lets on. Yeah.
He claims he doesn't speak any. So the first time our parents met, we were kind of a bit going, oh God, how are we going to get him included? Because my parents don't speak a lot of German at all. And he allegedly didn't speak English. Oh, but obviously it was the logic being, it was probably going to be more English. And we thought this poor guy was going to feel really by himself. And he's a really quite a sociable person. If he wants to be. And we thought, oh God, this is going to be the most awkward thing ever. Okay, what do we do? So we went up to the side of, so we live in a wine region. So we went up to some vineyards and sort of like had like a picnic type thing up there. And he is discussing with my father in full English about the cloisters, the monks, and God knows what along the Mosel.
What?
And at one point, we all stood there and went, but you don't speak English. What is going on?
Brilliant. You got found
So, yeah.
out. You got found out.
Yeah, no, I concur. Like, very, very welcoming. Like, just the whole premise of everything was just brilliant. We might have lost Jerry, by
I know,
the way.
I was just trying to work this one out.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
It's basically where he can hear us, but we
Oh,
can't hear him.
no.
So he'll phone us in a minute. Or phone me.
I said phone you because
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware, you haven't shared my number.
Yeah. No. So I'm hoping that you can hear this. But I was going to say, like, the whole time that I was there, I felt really welcome. I did feel out of my depth when you and Speen were jabbering on in German. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm not the most social person. Or Jerry might be back. You might have to speak something to see if you're back. But you're coming in
I
at
can
like
hear you.
6 frames per minute.
I can hear you.
But yeah, like super welcoming when I was arrived. I think the most interesting one was the plane over the first time I came to visit, which was where I greeted the person, the air hostess in German, and said, "Can I have some water?" in German. She answered back to me. I defaulted to what I usually do at school, and I went to French. She replied to me in French. Then I got very confused and went, "I don't know what's going on," in English. And she went, "That's okay. I speak that language too." And I was like, "No, that's not fair. That isn't fair."
But did you fly with Lux Air? Because if you fly with Lux
Yes,
Air,
Lux
they
Air.
all speak English. Is in Luxembourg, they speak English, German, French, and Luxembourgish. So anyone who's born in Luxembourg speaks 4 languages, and I hate them.
Oh,
Because they speak it without
yeah.
an accent as well.
My favorite was when when I flew back and I did the entire like desk in French, like really well. Did all of that in French. Like got my boarding ticket and stuff like that. Went over to security, greeted him in French. He looked at my British passport and said in a proper Scouse accent, "Can we do this in English, please, mate?" I was like, "Yeah, I suppose we can. Jerry, are you back yet?
I am. Can you hear me?
Nope. I think he's not. I might have to message him in a minute and be like, "I think you might need to leave and come back." Let me just message him. Oh, he's done that.
Is he?
He's kind of gone black screened.
So I won.
We're
That's
doing
what I'm going to
so
say.
well.
I won.
Oh. I'd forgotten about that. The pact that we made was who was going to be the first one to die. You've been, touch wood, you've been fairly stable at 96%. So we won't. We'll wait for him to come back and let him ask his questions about different bits. But while we wait for him, I'd say, is there anything about the UK that you do miss?
Apart from people, I missed some of the food. I miss like Sunday roasts and things like this. Oh. Actually, recording is higher quality.
You're back.
You're back.
Please tell me everything's okay. I panic every time this happens.
You always panic, and it's fine. It'll be fine.
Because it keeps coming up with a message saying it might be lost when I go to do the rejoin studio.
Oh no, it never has, and I don't think it will like lose the big file. What it basically does is it uploads in the background, so you're going to jump up to like 40, but sort of between 40 and 50%. Might get up to 60, and then when you do your thing and keep the thing in the background, a little bit of technical knowledge of what we do, it's normally fine. You just need to upgrade your internet at some point.
I've tried. Don't even go there. It's so frustrating.
Yes, I can see why you'd miss roast dinners.
So Dom just asked what I miss, just to bring Jerry up to speed.
Oh, I see.
From the UK. And I said some of the food, like roast dinners.
And chips.
And chips. And good Indian.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, that's a good point.
Luxembourg, because of the expats, has some good Indian, but not in Germany as much. It's working on it. That's always what I do when I go home, and this will mean more to Dom. I always make sure we go to the Ganges and we go to the Shippy.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Always the Ganges.
It's the Indian in the centre of the town that we both grew up. Royal Wootton Bassett.
Bassett.
Yeah, Bassett.
Bassett.
Right. Well, now you're back, Jerry. You can ask all your questions.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, I laughed at the first one, by the way. I read this just before.
is he? So the question is David Hasselhoff
I don't think
still a
so.
huge cultural icon in Germany? Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that was a thing of the late 80s / the fall of the wall.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. He was still doing concerts.
I mean, I think it
In
depends on the
Germany.
age group. Like, not
True.
with the younger, the youth.
Yeah,
As we like to call them.
The Ute. Yeah, the Ute.
Uneducated.
Ute. Okay. This next one's not a question. It's just I just have to say it, but I'm not going to say it properly. So you'll have to pronounce it properly for me. Kartoffeln kosten gestampfen in einen Eintopf geben. My God, I've
That's
just
not bad.
butchered that, isn't it?
It's
Okay, I
Kartoffeln kochen,
butchered that.
zerstampfen, in einen Topf geben.
Which translates into
Potatoes, cook, mash, and put them in a pot.
That's the direct translation. But what I think Jerry's trying to do is
Yeah,
potatoes, boil
and
them,
mash and stick them in. Yeah, I gathered
That's-
as much.
Yeah, that is yes. I have. Yeah, I've called Samwise. I mean, years and years. I think, although it stems more from not from a Hobbit.
No, honestly, it stems from my uni friends calling me Samwise one time because growing up at a house where my dad could never get my name right, my sister's name right, or my mum's name right, so we just responded to any of the three names. I respond to names that are similar to my actual name. So my friends from uni called me one time Samwise, and it stuck. And somehow everyone has picked
I
it
think
up on
it's
it now.
brilliant. It's brilliant. Forever Samwise.
And weirdly, the quote that's most commonly said between us is not actually one that interacts with hobbits. It's, would you like me to describe that to you, or shall I get you a box? But that's purely because, for those that haven't met me, I'm 6'3". Sam, you are...
I would say 5'5".
Oh, give over.
Rude. Rude. It was all going so well, Dom. It's going so well.
You're in trouble now.
You're not in the 6 foot club. It's fine. But then neither are you, Jerry, are you?
I was going to say,
No,
how
no,
many
I'm not.
people realistically are in the 6 foot club?
All the best.
Oh, wow. It's like real modesty going on here. Right, I'm going to test you now. It's really interesting what you said about your knowledge
I know, I'm worried about this.
of Germany. No, don't worry. Don't worry. So there's only, you'd be pleased to know it's 47 questions. No, I'm joking. Actually, there are quite a lot of questions. Bloody hell, there are 2 sections to it. So I'm just going to pick some at random here. What is the literal translation of the word Volkswagen?
People car.
Yeah, there you go. Which German novelist won the 1929 Nobel Prize in Literature?
God. Brecht? Bertolt
Thomas
Brecht?
Mann.
Oh.
No. In
That's
Germany.
what you said, Jerry, on that one.
Sorry? Oh, Thomas Mann.
wouldn't know
In
that.
Germany, what is the Bundeswehr?
The army.
Yeah. As of 2016, not counting Angela Merkel, there are 2 living former German chancellors. Can you name both?
Helmut Kohl?
Yep.
Oh, and who was before him? Not before him, who was before... Whoever was before Merkel. But I don't know who that was, because Merkel was around forever.
Yeah,
She was.
Yeah.
Who's current?
It is. Oh, I can't remember his name. Olaf Schmidt. Olaf, the pirate guy.
Yeah, I had a funny feeling it was like I want to say Olof Palme, but that was
No,
the
he's
Swedish
the pirate
prime
guy.
minister that was assassinated.
So the answer is
I'm gonna kick myself because I got.
Gerhard Schroeder.
Yes. So he was before Merkel, wasn't he? I'm looking at you both and realizing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, he was actually. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Or the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the name.
Pass. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So, name the highest mountain in Germany.
Zugspitze.
There you go.
Tom's like, what?
I wouldn't know
Name
the. Well, I'm
the
just
large-
thinking, like,
Oh,
would I
God.
know the equivalent in the UK?
Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis, isn't it? Well, that's Scotland.
That's the one said UK.
I don't know what the
Oh, yeah,
UK
UK,
one
yeah.
is, but Ben Nevis is the tallest in Scotland. Snowdon is the tallest in
Snowdonia.
Wales, and Scafell Pike is the tallest in English.
Mm.
But I don't know what the tallest in the UK would be.
I think it's
for
Ben
example.
Nevis.
I thought it was Ben. Yeah.
Ben Nevis. I've walked it. It's a
It's tall.
fucking long way.
I think Zugspitze is taller though.
It's
My
tall.
friend, I hate to
And
break
steep. Name the largest city on the River Rhine.
it to you. On the River Rhine. Okay. It's either Cologne or Dusseldorf. I'm trying to work out which
You have
one's
to go
bigger.
for one.
I'm trying to work out which one's bigger.
Jerry, for stickler for the rules, you got to pick.
No, he said which one, so I'm saying Cologne.
You're right.
Haha, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right,
Doesn't
and
smell
then
nice,
last
though.
question. Oh, I don't know. There's so many to choose from. Okay, let's make this one relatively current. Which modern German composer has composed music for The Lion King, The Thin Red Line, and Gladiator?
Oh, Hans
crumbs.
Zimmermann.
Hans Zimmer. Yeah.
Actually. I have a question for you both.
Who also
Oldest city
Go
in
on.
Germany?
Munich?
no. Is that
Frankfurt?
Trier?
It is Trier. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
I was
Roman
gonna say.
city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was hoping you
Yes.
would ask something like that, and I'd be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fun
okay. All
fact,
right.
I live with
How
that.
about this? The
Oh, God,
top
no.
10 tallest buildings in Germany are all in the same city. Which city?
Cologne.
No.
Berlin.
No.
I'm just going to say Hamburg.
Nope.
Well, surely it must be Munich.
That's going to be my next guess then. Munich.
No.
Oh, really? Oh,
Dresden.
Nope. Let me know when you give up.
I gave up about 4 hours. So I am.
I have never even heard of this
Essen.
place before. No.
Aachen.
Nope.
Okay, no, I don't know.
Johannes Gutenberg?
Is that where the press comes from, the printing press?
Honestly, I don't have a Scooby.
Jerry's
I'm just
just
reading the
been-
answers. I've never heard of this place. Never heard of it.
I'm literally looking this up.
Is that a place? It just sounds like somebody's name.
Well, I have the list of tallest buildings in Germany. It's actually Frankfurt. Just want to put it out there.
Hashtag just saying.
Hashtag just saying. That is the definition of you, by the way, Samwise, I think. Hashtag just saying.
And this is why you love me.
I've run out of questions.
There's absolutely times where I question whether I like you.
But those questions should be for citizenship. They're good ones.
They're not bad, are they?
No, they're good ones.
There you go.
Yeah, Museum Island is in which German city?
Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me go. I probably know more about Germany than I do the UK at this point.
Which heavy, slightly sweet rye bread was first referred to in print in 1450 and has a long association with the Westphalia region of Germany?
Finkelport?
Pumpernickel.
Oh, close. I don't know.
I don't know either of them. I don't know either of
Oh,
them.
damn. You need to get yourself to Aldi. And then you find out.
yeah, you need to get on that, definitely.
Do I need to go to Audi, the supermarket, or do I need to go to Audi, the car brand? I was going to ask, actually, they're both Germans. They must be pronounced differently.
Audi and Aldi. So Aldi
Okay.
is a supermarket, and then Audi, because there's no L, is the car.
Did you hear about the cowboy that walked into the German car dealership? He said, "Howdy."
That's awful.
Sorry.
My one was bad earlier. This
Yeah, I
one
know.
was Christmas
I
related.
thought I was
It's
gonna
like
make
3
it
days
worse.
before Christmas.
Got to make it worse.
Oh my god! Right,
that's
well, let's
brilliant.
finish this podcast off. Did we manage to watch the movie? I don't know. Did you manage to watch The Princess Bride, or you did? You have educated yourself with The Princess Bride. Have you seen it, Samwise?
No, and I was going to try and watch it before I came on here, so then I could be like, yes, yes, I have, because I knew you'd ask. But no,
Don't.
I blame COVID.
I mean, yeah.
I blame
gonna
it for
say,
everything
don't
at the
know.
moment.
We'll let you off. Yeah, we'll let
Thanks.
you off.
So, what did you think, Jerry? You've now watched a cultural icon that I have seen before.
It's interesting. It's very 80s.
It's very 80s. It absolutely
very
is. My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. I'm not prepared to die.
I like, is like maybe even a strong word. I wouldn't watch it again. Let's put it that way.
No,
But it has some good actors in it.
It's one that you've got to see once. It's a
Yeah,
very
agreed.
and I think it's not quite on the same level as Hot Fuzz in that, like, you could watch that again and again and again and again, and you'd pick up more quotes. But
Yeah.
it is quite a quote. There are sort of quite a few good quotes from that film that you can kind of pick up and do, and I do enjoy that part of it. It's the Danny DeVito, Vizzini, inconceivable, those types of moments, which I just think are really, really good. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. So yeah, it's a bit of a cultural icon that you've now been educated on in terms of the Princess Bride. So.
And I recognise the main actor, but I don't know what else I've seen him in. It's really weird. I recognised him instantly, but I don't know what else he starred in.
Who is the main actor? Played what? Indigo Montoya himself.
Yeah.
Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, so like
I mean, he's been in
instantly
loads.
recognisable, but I don't know what
I'm just
else
trying to-
he's been in. I haven't got a clue.
Loads. Let's see, because it's probably some of his older movies.
He did Robin Hood, of course. Robin
yes,
Hood,
he
Men
did
in
Robin Hood.
Tights. Yes.
Yes, he did do
So I
Robin Hood Men in
recognise him.
Tights.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, he's in Mission Impossible,
Mm.
Operation Fortune. Okay, all right. He's even in Saw.
Yes.
Okay. Get McKay.
Yeah. He's in. For more probably for Samwise. He's in the Hercules Disney film.
So that's not seeing his face, though, is it?
No, he's done a lot of voice acting. Looking at
Voice
some of these.
acting.
Okay.
Oh. So, yeah. I didn't realise there was a Princess Bride video game. What's that one?
Video games for everything dumb.
Oh, it's a Flash game. Oh, Flash. Do you remember that? Oh, you two aren't.
It's like
Sorry.
The silence. No, Dom, I don't.
No, I don't either, Dom. Sorry.
Never mind. Right, Samwise, what are your recommendations? What's your recommendation?
I
Well, you put
figured
two down.
I put two because I didn't know what you two would want. I've gone for two German films because we talked about Germany and German culture stuff. And Germany has a reputation, I think, for weird films, shall we say? And when I asked Philip what films I should suggest, he came up with films that when I sat and watched them went, this is too German. I don't find this funny. So I was never going to inflict this on you ever. So I've recommended Das Leben der Anderen, which translated is The Lives of Others. And it did really well 15 years ago or so, in like the Oscars and foreign films. It's essentially, I think it's a very good film that shows East Germany. So it's quite depressing, but it's very good. And the other film is Goodbye Lenin. So I would say either of those two, I say are quite good German films.
Okay.
So whichever ones you can get your hands on. I think The Lives of Others is on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes they tell them. It's on Amazon Prime, so I've got that, so it should be fine. And oh no, maybe that's just the way that IMDb does it. Hang on.
Whilst we're on the subject of films, have you seen Die Hard?
Of course. The Christmas classic.
So it is a Christmas. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, by the way, don't even bother asking for my final thoughts, because my final thoughts, Samwise, is just absolutely, that's a drop the mic moment. A classic, a Christmas classic. That's my final thought. So there you go. We're ahead of the game.
Before we've even got
Thank
there.
you very much. Yeah, before we've even got there. That's like, this is like time travel.
You've missed a section out though, Jerry.
Oh no, don't worry. No, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to all of this. No, but I didn't realise. Just my final. I already had this in my head, and Samwise, it's like you read my mind.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a brilliant thing, because Don was going to give it the old. I bet you haven't thought of this. What are your final thoughts? And I was going to say, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That was going to be my final thoughts. And then you've just gone. You've just gone. No, I think it's fantastic. So thank you, because it just proves my point for all the people that disagree with me. It is a Christmas. It's a Christmas classic.
Set at Christmas. There's holly. There's bells. I'm
Right.
sorry. What else do you need?
And you've got Run DMC with their Christmas rap.
Exactly.
Exactly. So the German that they speak in that is not grammatic. I had somebody who spoke fluent German when we were at uni, and he said, "Oh, every time I watch that film, it makes me cringe because the way that they're talking."
Oh, I need to watch
German
it again
to
and
one
pay
another
attention
and
to
that.
this. I've never paid much
I
attention.
was only-
Do pay attention to
No, I need to
007.
pay attention to this.
Apparently, he said it's really cringy. He was like, "Oh, no one talks like that. That's ridiculous." And there's some things that's grammatically incorrect.
I must admit, I thoroughly enjoy watching Hollywood and Western films that portray Germans in a certain way in this country. Because then I turn around to my husband and I go, see, this is what we all think it'd be.
You're all like Hans Gruber.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh dear! But you still missed out a section though, Jerry. That's
Oh yeah, don't worry. Which is not actually on there, but I've got to.
it's not on there.
Yeah, it's not on there.
Do it. I need to play the jingle. Play the jingle from Steve now. Celebrity caller, ding, ding, ding. I don't know what it is.
That'll be the one. So
recording.
this is a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous long shot. But I mean, is
they all
Keanu
are.
Reeves.
I was going to say, Keanu Reeves.
Right, Johnny Depp. I mean, it's like we're aiming high here. We're shooting for the stars. So, I'm going to do a. I don't know if I'll get away with this. Right, I'm going to do a call out for Al Pacino. I'm still keeping that bar high. Okay, it's going to be a while before it starts. Yeah, you got to dream big. Dream big or just go home. So Al Pacino, if the agent of Al Pacino. Well, actually, sorry, I'm going to do a double one here. Al Pacino or Robert De Niro. And the reason why I say that is because I was watching the cafe scene in that film Heat. And the acting in that 5 minutes, that 5-minute scene, literally just, it's a thing to marvel between those two. The two heavyweights of the acting world opposite one another in that cafe scene. And I think that was the first time they actually filmed a scene together it was real-time dialogue. So they've starred together in The Godfather.
I was going to say they were in The Godfather together.
Yeah.
They're in The Godfather together, but they didn't have sort of one-to-one dialogue like that, like they did in Heat. Apparently, that was the first time. It was the first time they came together.
Say hello
Two
to
biggest-
my little friend.
That'd be
That's
Scarface.
But sorry.
Oh god.
But yeah, there you go. That's Celebrity Call Out Corner. And I've actually got one other thing, and this is for Pistol. For Pistol, you'll have to watch this, right? So at this point, which is, I've lost the time, haven't I? Because I got booted out.
But
Yeah,
I've
there
got
you
to
go.
cut off like a few minutes. So.
Oh yeah, true. So I'm going to take my glasses off. Right.
Oh, I know what he's doing now.
So yeah. So this is for you, Pistol. When we were talking about, so we had a conversation about. Okay, well, all right. Let's set some context here. So we saw Pistol in the office last
Friday.
Friday.
a week ago.
Thank you. And he turned up with these very, very dark sunglasses on a day which is very, very dark grey. And I was like, why have you got really dark sunglasses? And then we were talking about sunglasses. Like, well, what sort of sunglasses would you wear on a day like this? And I said that you could wear indoor sunglasses. There is such a thing as indoor sunglasses. I said the sunglasses you got, definitely not indoor sunglasses because they're very, very tinted lenses. So here we go. I'll have to take my headphones off. Bear with me, caller. Managing to slide through. There you go. These are indoor sunglasses.
I'm
Another-
lost for words.
This is so you can rock up anywhere. And do you know what? I've spent a whole evening, a whole night out in Birmingham in pitch darkness, going to restaurants, bars, everything, wearing these. Not out of vanity, literally because I wore them during the day and then it's like, oh crap. What do I do with them now? And I didn't bring my case, so I ended up just wearing them, and I got away with it. I didn't get any weird looks or anything because they're indoor sunglasses. So if I was to wear a proper
Either
pair of
that or because you're
sunglasses-
wearing sunglasses, you couldn't see them, giving you the.
there is that. So there you go,
So,
Pistol.
there we-
Indoor sunglasses for your benefit.
Oh dear. And I think we come to the end. I suppose we'll start with what are your final thoughts, Samwise?
I didn't even get this far. I forgot about this bit, so I'm the one that's forgot this bit.
Always forget about this bit.
Get Dom intervention is all I can think of.
I mean, fair. Go on, Jerry. What are your final thoughts?
No, already covered.
He's already
seriously.
said this.
Die Hard. Yeah, Die Hard is a
Die
Christmas
Hard is
movie.
a Christmas
It's
film.
a Christmas film.
Right. Okay.
No arguments. Dom,
Well-
your final thoughts.
Just my final thoughts. I think my initial final thought is just to remind everybody that plays the game that they've lost the game, and then is to round off this podcast by saying thank you very much for coming on, Samwise.
Thank
I
you
really,
for
really,
having
really
me.
appreciate
That
it.
was good
Yes.
fun.
You know very much that you are one of my favourite people, despite how much you bully me. Yeah, so it's been wonderful to have you on. We hope you enjoyed your time here. So thank you very much for coming on. Listeners, watchers, hopefully this will come out on time. I've got probably about 20 hours of editing to do tomorrow when I've got to take all the bleeps out. Thanks,
Enjoy.
Jerry. Sure, it'll be
It'll
fine.
be fun. It'll be fun.
There's AI on this platform now. Might be able to do it for me.
Ooh. I'll test it.
Please do let us know what you think of this podcast. As always, this is the first one, so happy 2024 when you are listening to this podcast. Myself and Jerry will do our New Year podcast for the 1st of February. We'll record it in the new year with all the plans that we plan to get up to. Probably giving you an exciting look on Dom's thoughts into the podcast on 2024. We've got some really good ideas. Let's just say that some of you will be called upon, and we may be having up to 8 guests on a podcast, if I have my way. So that could be fun. we'll figure out how that goes. Again, Samwise, thank you so much for coming
I
on.
was just going to
really,
say,
really appreciate it.
It's really genuinely such a pleasure to finally meet you.
I know, it feels like I know you.
So long.
It was only this evening that I'm like, I finally met you.
Exactly, right? So it's so good to have it. Thank you so much. Really, it's been an absolute pleasure. Lots of laughs.
Very true.
Good. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Take care, everyone. Bye.